And we are live, ladies and gentlemen.
We're live.
Sunday night, live email expedited readings. What a weekend.
Yeah.
It feels like we haven't done this in forever.
I feel like I did this yesterday.
Really?
Yeah.
Not me. It feels like it's been a hot minute since we've sat down.
Yeah.
We did a lot. We did a lot in a very short amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't bring anything from the antique stores? You didn't bring any of your little baby spoons or anything to show off?
Oh, was I supposed to do
I don't know.
that?
I figured you'd want to talk about your adventures in antiquing.
So much on my mind the last few days. Just a lot happening, and I got a lot of spoons.
You did buy a lot of little spoons.
A lot of little tiny spoons that bring me happiness in some sort of way. And one of them is a pin, but I don't care. It's a spoon.
Yeah, it counts.
Oh, I found a picnic basket. Big old vintage picnic basket I'm going to start using with the kids. I'm excited about. Found some 1960s cookbooks. I found one from 1933 I'm excited to use. Had to decline the live invitations. What else happened? Oh, we climbed a lighthouse.
We did climb a lighthouse.
We got to the top of the lighthouse, yeah.
And you were terrified.
Yes, my body thought we were going to die. I logically knew that I was safe, but my body was just panicking. We were trying to get it together a little bit.
Saw footprints in the lighthouse from the ghost.
Yeah, I got some really shaky photos on my camera.
I ended up buying some stuff too while we were out there.
Yeah, you
At the
did.
antique store. I got a nice little like milk crate that's wood with metal trimming on it. That's pretty neat. It's gonna definitely make for a good prop. I got some keys, a couple rusted tins, rusted old medical kit from like World War II, which actually still has some of the other tins inside of it. So I got lots of little props for that.
Yeah.
What else did I get? I feel like I got something else. I
You
bought
got that really cool light.
the light. Yeah.
Little, it's like a faucet turner
Yeah.
that turns it on and off. That's so cool.
I'll show that off when we get the whiskey room together.
Yeah. Oh, we kissed under the love tree
We did kiss under the love tree.
in St. Augustine.
Yep. Although they took the sign down. I think
Yeah.
whoever owned that business went out of business and they're not playing that game anymore.
Yeah, it's owned by like some bakery now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a shame.
You thought it was so silly. You guys, when we were walking past, he was like, "Oh yeah, that's the love tree," and I was like, "What is that?" And he was like, They say if you kiss under the tree, you're gonna like last forever." And I was like, "Well, we gotta do it." And you're like, "We don't need to. It's like insurance. It's like a prenup. We get to our old age, and we're both just bags of bones." And I'll look at you and be like, "Look, it worked."
I feel like I got something else while we were out there and I can't remember what it was. I almost bought a really old lock.
Yeah. Yep. A lot of things we almost bought. I found this painting of the Last Supper, but it was like a knockoff painting.
Yeah.
And all of their faces just told a story. And I wanted it so bad because I was making up things in my mind that they were saying to each other, and it was just absolutely ridiculous. But I was like, where would I put it?
Somebody caught your hair change already.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you so we have two expedited emails and then a super chat from last week that we didn't read. So for those of you who would like to do an expedited email, we have slots for 2 that we're doing tonight. You can at Zach in the chat, he'll explain that process to you if you want to move forward with that. Before we get into this, now that we have 230 something people watching, I have a 2-part question that I want to start this podcast with. But I'm only going to ask the first half of it now, and I'll ask the second half of it at the end. And I have to read my notes because I wrote like 3 different questions and I don't want to mix them up.
I love that you got yourself organized so you're not just winging it.
It's been a hell of a day.
Yeah.
It's been a hell of a day.
It's been definitely a day.
Okay, so the first part of the question is, when is the last time you sacrificed for your partner? And that led into a whole lot of questions and thoughts for me in terms of, it's very easy for us to be selfish. The things that we do in life, we do because we want to enhance our life. We want to be happy. We want to succeed. We want to level up. Mm-hmm. We want. And it's so easy for us to be selfish when we should be selfless. And part of that is because of the conversations that we had over the weekend.
Yeah.
You would think that us going on vacation would be a great way to decompress, and it is not.
No.
We learned some things about ourselves this weekend.
Yeah.
There has been life lessons experienced yesterday morning, and we've had a lot of conversations throughout. And without getting into too much of the detail, there was some misreadings happening going on between the two of us, and it led to a little bit of sourness yesterday morning because things were being perceived way worse than they actually were, and that led to the selfless thing. Because when you're in a relationship, sometimes you have to do shit you don't want to do, like stand outside at a garden and get eaten alive by mosquitoes because somebody wants to take pictures next to a bush, or sometimes you're going to have to see a ghost tour that you've already seen that you think is a history lesson. You don't really want to do that. So sometimes it's better just kind of keep your mouth shut and go, okay, whatever you want to do, versus trying to put down the situation. So there's been life lessons learned. And I think that one of the things that I really need to be working on for myself is that I need to be focusing a little bit less on the I don't wanna of situations and a little bit more of the maybe she really wants to, and I just kind of need to shut the fuck up. So that's the first part of my question. The second part of my question is going to come at the end of this, and it's all going to tie in. But I think that the two-part question kind of sums up our weekend a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying we didn't have a good weekend.
Right.
Just to be clear, everyone, we did have a dope-ass weekend. We did the St. Augustine thing. She drank out of the Fountain of Youth garden hose.
Yeah, I caught a lady super off guard by asking her if it was a garden hose.
Got to feed a peacock out of your hand.
That was cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Got pictures of that for you. Got our pictures of our shirts ready to go and uploaded to Discord. I need to actually get that done this week because the shirt drop goes live next Thursday. And then we did a whole lot of antique stores yesterday. We went to Mechanipe, Florida, which is supposed to be like this city that time forgot, and it was advertised all over the world or all over the internet that it was like great antique stores and all this shit, and it's really, really just an artsy fartsy tourist trap.
I was not impressed.
I was not.
Yeah.
I was not. So
there was one that we went into that kind of felt like Texas Chainsaw.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the house?
Yeah, the last one we hit.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a little weird. And it smelled really bad in
It
there.
really did, yeah.
So, do you want to just jump into it? Do you want to keep talking? We had a lot of experiences this weekend.
Yeah, so the Lighthouse, I'm just really hung up on that because I was not expecting such a drastic reaction.
It was life shattering for you, huh?
Yeah. I didn't think I was scared of heights.
No, you definitely were.
Yeah, that first time we stopped and I was like, I gotta catch my breath. I was actually internally panicking. I was like, don't turn around. Don't go back down. I was like, don't show me you're a bitch. Like, you talked yourself up. You have to finish the climb now.
Yeah.
The second time I stopped, I looked at you and it was on the tip of my tongue of, I can't do this. And I was like, I can't say it to him. I can't disappoint him. I was like, you got this. Like, you say all the time you'll do anything once. What are you going to do? Chicken out? It's a lighthouse.
Still think you could skydive?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. I would climb that lighthouse again.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You were pretty scared up there.
I was absolutely terrified. I was fighting back tears.
We had a dope photo up there.
Yeah. You sent me the series of them, right? And I was looking through all the pictures, and I know what I was experiencing, but seeing it play out in photos is absolutely hilarious. Because the first photo was really good, and like I was like, okay, I got it under control, and like you're holding your phone over the railing, and I'm like, he's gonna drop his phone, and then I'm next. And the tears started welling up. And like I sent the first really good one to my mom and my sister in the group chat, and I was like, and then in this last photo, you can see I'm trying not to cry. That was a crazy experience.
That's funny.
What else did we do? Oh, we saw the cat dick. I was super excited about that.
Okay, you need context because you really need to give context.
So we were walking around. It's a rug. I know the memory. Nobody else does. So we went to some really old started with a Z house that was built in like the early 1800s.
Yeah.
And we're walking around, and the lady was like, you can take pictures pretty much everywhere, no flash photography in most rooms. And she was like, absolutely no photos in the Egyptian room. And I was like, ooh, spooky. Right? And we're walking around, and I asked her, I was like, why do you think they said no photos in the Egyptian room? And you're like, that is kind of an odd.
Yeah, everywhere but there.
Right. And we're looking at things, and I was like, oh, yeah, look at that pyramid, little Sphinx cat. And I look up at the wall, and there's this massive rug. And it's like, I would say maybe an 8.5-year-old drew this cat, right? And it had like stripes and it was black and white. And I'm fairly certain this photo was pretty viral on the internet at one point. And I'm looking at this cat rug and I'm like, wow, that's old. Like somebody made that. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, is that a dick? I looked at him and I was like, they put the cat's dick on there. Like, why?
They did.
Why? What was it?
To show that it was a male cat. Otherwise, how would you have known? You would have had to guess.
And then we left.
You would have assumed that cat's gender and somebody would have been offended.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm. See?
Right.
The Egyptians were looking out for you.
And then we left the house and I was like, was it the rug? Is the rug why they said no photos? It was so strange. The last thing I expected. That rug was the highlight of that house for me. That and the smoke room, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got recognized at the Maple Street Biscuit Company.
We did.
That was pretty dope. Got recognized at the racetrack.
We got recognized at the soap store.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I forgot about the soap store. You're talking about wild. That soap store, the amount of square foot that they have there and what they're paying for rent blows my mind. Cheap. Super cheap.
A lot we could do with that.
Yep.
All right. Just want to get into it?
Yeah, I do. I was trying to think of what else we did that we could talk about, but we did everything in a day. Like St. Augustine is like, it's really just a tourist trap. We hit the fort. We did literally every major tourist attraction in St. Augustine before 1 p.m.
Yes. You know, walking around that fort, I felt like we were the main attraction.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that kind of killed it a little bit for
Every
me.
single time somebody that was under the age of 25 walked by, I heard, yo, I want to get tatted up so bad.
Yeah.
I want to be like, I hope you fall down the stairs.
Yeah.
That's what you get for saying tatted. I hope it hurt. Like, hate that shit.
Yeah.
But that was the comment pretty much the entire time we were at the fort.
Right. There were a couple of times I noticed that like a group of dudes specifically would walk past us and then I would hear like snickering comments behind us because they were looking at me. And I want to go out and I want to experience things and look at old historic places and shit. I'm really just over being treated like a slab of meat in public by strangers.
I didn't hear any of that.
I'm very attuned to that. I'm very aware of who's looking at me and who's... When we were walking around one of the antique stores, one of the dudes was like, I would go down an aisle and he would go down the aisle. And then I would make a point to go a very strange way to go down a different aisle and he would follow the path. And then that's why I made my way towards you. And when I turned towards you, I guess he saw you and I didn't see him again. It's just, yeah. It sucks. That was kind of like the low part.
He was working up his nerve to try to shoot a shot. He was.
No, I hope not.
That's what was happening. He was just trying to get that little bit of nerve, that little bit of courage to say something to you.
I need to get a pen that says, don't have the audacity. I don't want to talk to people. I don't want to be approached. I don't want to... Especially in antique stores. Like, I'm in my own little world imagining people doing things with something that's old. Like, they lived their life with this thing, and I'm holding it in 2023 in an antique store. And it's on sale for $5 when it was probably a family heirloom to them.
Some of that shit was obviously just trash, but...
True.
How much of that shit, like, how much stuff do you think we touched that belonged to somebody who's now dead?
Almost everything.
I thought about that a lot. Every time I pick something up, I was like, the person who originally owned this is probably dead. Like at least 20 or 30 years dead.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I was holding things and I was like, these are things from World War II. Like these are love letters. He probably died, never came back home, and she lived the rest of her life missing him. Like, oh my God. I was going through it in the 92. I made myself cry a lot. I don't know if you ever caught it. There was one point where I was standing and I was looking at the wall in a corner and there was nobody around me and I was crying because I made up a story in my mind about some past thing. I got overly emotional. And I'm looking at the wall and there was a wrench and I'm like, okay, suck it up. And I'm like, I'm trying not to touch my face because you would know, right?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to like do my shoulder thing. And I turn around and you're standing right there looking at me. And I was like, oh, I didn't. Okay. And I just kept going. And I was like, I hope he didn't see that. Oh. I stood in the corner. I was like patting my face with my sleeves on the cardigan.
You're so extra.
Yeah.
Zach wrote, "To Be a Better Nation goes antiquing. Just 500 people searching desperately for little spoons." That was your search the entire time we were there.
It was. Whatever little spoons made me happy. I was looking for like things in jars. I thought those were cool.
Yeah.
I wanted a little cigarette holder to go on my finger so when I'm smoking joints. I sound super quiet. Do I sound okay?
I mean, I don't know. I would assume so. Everything looks like it's working, so.
All right, cool.
You both sound good, Zach said.
Anything else you want to talk about?
No, I mean, I think that's pretty much it. We can jump into...
Do you want to talk about the thing? I was talking to peacocks.
What?
I was talking to peacocks as we were walking around. Like I wanted to get pictures of them doing the thing. So we were walking around the Fountain of Youth and there were just peacocks everywhere walking up to us, ate out of my hands. And I was getting really dope photos of the peacocks when they were just like slightly angled towards me and the light was hitting all their feathers. Gorgeous. So I was like, do the thing. Because when they get ready to fluff out, they're like doing like the thing. So I was hoping sign language or something to the peacocks.
Read my body language, you stupid fucking bird.
That's what I was hoping for. And I thought one of them like got it because he started doing it and then he just walked away. And I was like, okay. That was fun. I'm absolutely ridiculous. I don't know. How are you not embarrassed walking around with me?
Because you're fun.
Yeah?
I enjoy that shit. I gotta be honest, I enjoyed everything about this weekend except for the heat
Yeah.
and the amount of fucking people in St. Augustine.
Yeah.
Like, I know that it was busy like that before. Every time I've gone, it's always been busy like that. But it's never bothered me to the extent that it bothered me this time. And I think it's because we don't leave the house as much.
Yeah.
Like, I don't socialize anymore. So, like, going to the bar or going to hang out with friends after work, like, I don't do any of that shit. We stay home 90% of the time. And when we do go out, we schedule it around other people's work schedules so that we don't have to be around people.
Yeah.
So we went from having at most 5 to 10 people in our vicinity to having thousands of people around us. And I was like, I don't like this. But it was still a good time. With the Fountain of Youth place was pretty dope. Watching you feed the birds was pretty cool.
I ate a pepper today.
Yeah,
I
from
wasn't
the
part of
garden.
St. Augustine.
No.
I don't know if I'm allowed to do that.
Well, you already did it. So what are
I
they going to tell
did.
you? Don't do that?
And I'll do it again.
You're just a rebel.
There was another one that I didn't try that was fat. But I waited for the witnesses to walk away.
Yeah, we went to the Naples Botanical Garden and they had actual vegetables growing
Yeah,
throughout
like
the garden.
chili peppers. And you were like, try one.
You did. You were
What
like,
is it?
this is a bad idea.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't awful.
Is my lip swollen?
So I was definitely all right. And I was like, I noticed when you do like this noise with it, it cools the air differently. I don't know. It was working.
It's funny.
I felt it in my throat. Definitely felt like my lip was getting, I don't know, like radioactive heat from my. It was just, it was good. They know what they're doing. I could tell that a bunch of very skilled gardeners work there. Fantastic.
You're saying that skilled gardeners work at the botanical garden?
Yeah.
I would be willing to put money on that.
No, yeah, they're doing fantastic. Absolutely great.
We canceled our interview on Friday night with the therapist and rescheduled it for next Friday because we did not have everything that we needed to properly do that interview.
That was a mess.
Yes.
A little bit of a mess.
Yeah. The hotel that we stayed in was very fun house effects because the floors were super off.
Yeah, it threw me off a lot, especially after I took that first breaky break.
The downstairs part of the building was a restaurant.
Yes.
And Friday's menu was fish, mahi-mahi, tuna, all kinds of stuff. So the entire upstairs apartment smelled like raw fish.
Yeah, we walked in there. I was like, does it smell like dead fish in here to you?
Yeah, it absolutely did. So that was all things. All the things.
All right. Just want to get into it?
Sure. Okay. Maybe we'll get some other people to pay for some expedited emails.
So this is from a 35-year-old female who is a stay-at-home spouse. They've been together for 2.5 years. They do have a traditional relationship. SO is a 35 male electrician. 6 children. 16 years old to 14 months. All right, so this is actually her husband. Oh, and I have a question about submissiveness. She is the most submissive woman I've ever had the pleasure of being with. My question is about taking off my boots. I work in a chemical plant, and she has been saying she wants to take my boots off for me, and for some reason my brain won't allow her to do that. Does that mean there is something wrong with me?
Are you not willing to let her take your boots off because you work at a chemical plant? And
right.
You might have chemical, like harsh shit on your boots, because if that's the case, you're looking out for her.
Right. If there's like something hazardous.
Right.
Maybe taking that off outside then.
Right. But not letting her take your boots off because you're afraid of allowing her to serve you or to show any form of submission. That's a you thing. That's a mental block.
Try it once.
Yeah. What's worse is going to happen? She'll be like, oh, your feet stink.
Or you don't like it.
Yeah. Real quick before you do anything else, I want to address this. Zach sent me a message from somebody named Candace that said, what about female fans? Would you still not want a high in public? I understand it might be hard to know who is nice and who would be creepy. And I said, I'm confused.
I'm confused too.
And Zeke said, Peaches mentioned not wanting people to come up to her in public and asked if someone didn't want fans coming up if they did happen to see you in public. We absolutely want our fans to come up and talk to us in public.
Right.
If this was in reference to the creepy guy that was chasing you around the fucking store that was working up his nerve to talk to you, that's a different story.
Yeah.
But we encourage people to greet us in public and take a picture with us because we want it for our Instagram. So in the event that you do see us in public and you recognize us, say hello. I love your podcast. It's a great fucking icebreaker.
So I'm going to clarify. If you don't have a reason to be speaking to me, please don't waste my time. If you recognize us from the podcast, dope. Come speak to us. I hate it when I'm like looking at something and some random person comes out to me and goes, so what, you like Cheetos? Because I happen to be looking at something about Cheetos. And I'm like, just browsing. You know, they're the fastest animal in the world, right? Like they're just the zoomies all over the place. And I'm like, yeah, crazy. And then I try to walk away and they continue the conversation. I don't do well with that. I don't know how to.
So they have to break the ice first. Hey, I love your podcast. Then have awkward conversation. Just don't ask if she likes Cheetos. Cheetos, yes.
This is a hard one. I don't know how I'm gonna be in the moment. I mean, of course, I'm gonna have the interaction.
Yeah.
I could just be having a very, very bad mental day and just think everything's absolutely terrible. I'm still gonna have the interaction with you. I don't know what to tell you.
I gotta be honest. Even if I'm having a bad day, if somebody hits me with that, I love your podcast and wants to have a conversation, it's gonna change the route of my day. You went to the bathroom, and I had just cleaned our plates, and I was getting ready to get some more soda, and I sat down real quick, and dude walked by and was like, "Hey, I love your podcast, man," and just kept walking. And you came out, and I was like, "Somebody fucking talk to me about the podcast!" Like that shit's super dope to me. Being recognized is fucking wild. I never thought that we would ever get to a point where people would see us in public and like be excited to talk to us.
Right. I'm very socially awkward. I am not. Don't stop it. Is it that bad?
I don't think it's that bad at all.
Oh god.
I think that you've got really good customer service, so even when you are awkward, most people don't notice it.
Really. Like that interaction at the restaurant, I felt very uncomfortable and I didn't know what to do with my hands. Like that was the situation.
When they fucked up your food?
Yeah.
Had you not been so adamant about them not bringing you your food back out or getting something else, I'd have made them remake that food.
Yeah.
Yep. Normally, when they drop the ball like that, they're not going to spit in your food for fucking it up. It's on them. They know it. If you're being super fucking picky just to be picky, they also know that too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'll always send something back once if it's fucked up, but if it's fucked up a second time, I'm not saying shit. Like I will say something like, I want my money back. I'm not eating that. But
That was one of those moments where I felt very socially awkward and didn't know how to conduct that conversation.
You did really well.
Thank you.
But you would have never known. You were very polite.
Yeah.
There was no animosity there, no ugliness.
Point of all of that is approach me.
Just break the ice first with, hey, I love the podcast.
Yeah. Yes.
Was that the end of the...
Yeah, that's it.
Well, I don't know anything other than what I've already said there, so...
Okay. So you just want to get into the next one?
Yep. Which, hey, Zach, you're sending all of these chats in the live reading chat. Can we send those to the other? I think he just moved everything. Yep, he did. Good job. Good man. Beat me to it. Okay.
I might get the stuff to make biscuits and gravy after this.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm hungry. I didn't have dinner. I was rushing to get ready.
I'm not judging. I love
All
biscuits
right.
and gravy.
So, first email is improvement journey in dating. This is from a 41-year-old female who has a full-time job, is single, 2 sons who are 17 and 9. All right. So thank you so much for your podcast. I found y'all on TikTok and have binged all the podcast episodes already. Also, thank you for the book recommendations. I already have 2 on my to-be-read list. First, I want to express how your podcast has helped me in navigating my relationships with significant others, family members, and even friendships.
Before you move on, the person that sent that email is in the chat over here, so I'm going to drag... Oh, that's not the window I need to drag. I'm going to move this over so that as we have questions, boom, shakalaka.
I love that her name is Chaotic Thoughts because same. All right, first I want to express how your podcast has helped me in navigating my relationships with significant others. Already read that. Between your podcast, therapy, meds, and my faith, I have learned how to put myself first before anyone else. I have learned to set healthy boundaries, which I still struggle with, but now recognize how important boundaries are, and how to love myself again, and more importantly, I've learned how I may have been the common denominator in most of my failed relationships and dating experiences.
So she's definitely been paying attention.
Yeah, that's a lot of self-accountability. I have some childhood trauma in which I always felt unimportant and unloved and never good enough. Crying was unacceptable. Affection was only shown if we got good grades in school or did something worthy of bragging about to family and friends. Whenever we messed up, my mother would blow up and act like her kids were nothing but disappointments. I never felt unconditional love from my parents growing up. Through therapy sessions, I have learned that those feelings may have carried on into my adulthood, which has significantly affected my self-esteem, self-confidence, and self-worth. I have been diagnosed with severe anxiety disorder and sometimes experience depression in short spurts. More specifically, I will just wake up feeling down and shitty about myself and then will stay in bed all day. Then the very next day, I'll wake up feeling happy and back to normal. I am on anxiety medication, and that helps my moods. However, it caused me to gain a lot of weight, which is affecting my self-esteem. I also smoke grass to ease my anxiety and help me fall asleep at night. I am 41 and a single mom of 2 boys, both crazy-ass boys, but they are my world. I've been single for 3 years, and the ex that I was with before becoming single was actually my fiance. We were together for 6 years. We were supposed to get married, however, I just wasn't happy the last 2 years of our relationship. I conveyed to him that I was unhappy, and he always promised that things would change, but they never did. We tried counseling with our pastor at church and even tried reading his needs, her needs. Things would only improve for a week or 2, then we were right back to dormant. Have you heard of that book?
What?
His Needs, Her Needs?
I have not.
Okay. No date nights, no romance, no spending time together. Nothing worked, so I made a decision to leave and break off the engagement.
Okay, I'm going to pause you for a minute because it takes two to tango.
Right.
So you can't say nothing worked if you let it go. Mm-hmm. You're both responsible for that. If I was like, you're not initiating enough, I would expect you to initiate more.
Right.
But if I'm like, we are stagnant, we're not evolving, we're not growing, we're not living together anymore in ways that's benefiting us, we need to make changes. And you're like, okay, well, you're right, we will. And you start making changes and I do nothing. That's not changes.
Right.
That's me expecting you to fix the situation, and you can't do that. Mm-hmm. It takes two.
I agree with that.
This falls into my selfish versus selfless conversation.
It certainly does. I knew it was the right move to make as my ex is now engaged to someone else and I am fine with that. I actually like his fiancée more than I like him. I've been on so many dates since my ex and it's always seemed to go like this. I will meet someone via dating app because I don't go out much.
What you looking for?
The red flags.
What'd you do with them?
They're in the white chair.
Would you like me to eat them?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Camera's on you.
All right, well, everybody knows what's to do. I got banned last time on TikTok because somebody reported me, so be back.
Do you just want the ribbons or you want the whole thing? Here. There. Problem solved. Let me get a drink.
Thank you.
Would you like a drink? Do you have a drink?
Can I have a cherry vanilla one? You guys, his back looks stupid good in that shirt. You're fantastic.
You know what I just realized?
Yeah.
Because our legs are sore, we should do the hot tub thing and you can medicate in the hot tub.
You smart bitch.
I know, right? Fucking genius over here.
Oh, nope, can't.
Don't like the texture?
Can't do the texture.
I figured that was going to happen.
Oh, God, I need something else to touch. It's making my elbow feel weird.
Mouse pad.
Okay, now with the vape. Oh. TikTok.
It's medicine. I don't know why they would do that, but...
No, I'm not trying to do it again. Okay. Self-soothing. All right, so... I understand you don't go out much. I would never, ever, 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 ever use a dating app. All of the terrible things, the scams that happen, the people that get lured, and I'm good on all that. The addiction, you guys should look into statistics. It is now an addiction to be on dating apps.
Really?
There are people who go on dating apps and never message anybody. They're just swiping. Yeah.
Don't you have to pay to message? Sean said that you can't, like... I don't know.
I don't know dating apps.
I've never been on a dating app, so like I don't know how any of that shit works. But
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. I thought you had to pay for that shit, like in order to message people.
You know, everybody has the mindset of it's easier to stay home. I'm super burpy. I'm so sorry, guys. Apologies.
She said Facebook dating is free. You know that that's not available to everyone.
Facebook dating?
Yep.
Really?
It's just really weird because I'm married
right
on Facebook. And when I hit the app to like see all my list, it's there. It says Facebook dating. Sean, my best friend who's been single forever, doesn't have access to Facebook dating.
What?
Yeah, figure that one out. They should be like, oh, your status is married. You don't get this. You don't need this. Just go ahead and you don't need this on your phone.
So apparently it's just a bunch of free apps. Bumble is free. Everybody has the mindset of staying at home. Everybody likes their pleasures and little comforts in life. The AC, there's not people at home. All of the good people aren't going out anymore because it's just easier to stay home. You guys got to brave the wild. You will never find somebody worth finding if you're just doing it on a screen.
Right. I had to turn the Wi-Fi off on my phone. I don't know if it looks pixelated to everyone else, but on my YouTube screen, it looks super bad.
All right, so she'll meet someone on the dating app, talk and text back and forth for a few weeks, go on the first date, and by date 3, more than likely, we would end up sleeping together. I'm a very sexual person. However, one thing that your podcast has taught me is to not sleep with someone until you really know someone, and I've been dating for at least a couple of months.
Yeah, I was gonna say 3 or 4 dates before putting out is
not a lot.
That's not enough time. I turned the Wi-Fi off of my phone and that instantly cleared up.
Yeah. I am making that a strict boundary going forward. In a nutshell, it has become a pattern for me of meeting someone, talking for about 2 months, making it to date 4, and then either I ghost him or he ghosts me.
So there's no real connection there.
Right.
Right. It sounds like you guys are eating meals with empty calories. Like if there was real sustenance in that relationship, that wouldn't be the case. Like you guys would be texting all the time and be, wanting to have conversations and do shit and go to parks and like
intrigued
it
and
wouldn't
engaged.
be lustful. It would be, like you said, engaged. Like there, I don't know.
It doesn't even bother me when this happens. I figure, oh well, if it was meant to last longer, it would have lasted longer. I've come to realize in some of these dating situations, I may have been the problem.
Okay.
I know there are 1 or 2 dating experiences that could have actually gone somewhere if I hadn't been so anxiously attached, insecure, or just plain unreasonable in my expectations.
Can I pause you for a minute?
Yeah.
She said if it was supposed to go somewhere, it would have. Right? How did she word that? Can you read that again?
I know there are 1 or 2 dating experiences that could have actually gone somewhere if I hadn't been so anxiously attached, insecure, or just plain unreasonable in my expectations.
So if you bought a 2,500 kit Lego set that comes unassembled, you are meant to assemble it. You have to do the work.
Right.
You can't just expect that everything is going to go smoothly and perfect because it's meant to. I firmly believe God put you in my life. Truly believe that because of when you came into my life and the way everything played out. But I know wholeheartedly that had I not done the work and had you not done the work prior, it wouldn't have mattered. He would have set us up and we wouldn't have had anything to go off of because we wouldn't have been mentally there. You know what I mean? Like it took a lot to get us to where we are. A year of courting before we actually started dating.
Yeah.
Shit takes work. Just because it doesn't come assembled doesn't mean that it's not meant to be assembled.
They gave me chills.
Okay.
That was good. What?
I heard you I heard your exhale and I was waiting on you to start crying.
Stop. No, that's good. That's right. Like when you buy something, you don't wait for it to put itself together.
Right.
You're so smart. I still think about those past dating experiences and it sometimes bothers me, but I'm working on myself and my issues so that when I do meet someone that I really like, I can be the best version of myself.
You know that best version of yourself is going to continue to evolve.
Oh, it doesn't stop. And sometimes it's so exhausting.
But babe, we've done it. The last 24 hours has been evolution for us.
I know it has. You're right. It's been a lot. It's mentally taxing and
it's fucking hard sometimes.
it really is. It really is. And it's you know how there's all those mountains and like Mount Everest is one of like the top 7. Like you climb those 7, you're big dick. I feel like that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
And every time we come over a hurdle, we're at the top of the mountain, like, okay, we got this. We can do the next one. It's going to be a little bit harder if it needs to be, but we know we can get to the top of it.
My analogy is a little bit different.
Okay.
And we're hitting different peaks on the way to the summit.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel like we've actually summited a mountain yet.
Okay.
I really don't, because we really haven't had like a huge horrific breakdown.
No.
Because we've not allowed it to get that far. So we're taking breaks. Like we hit this little peak. We're gonna hit the peak and we're gonna rest a little bit, have a couple conversations, drink some tea, warm up next to the fire, and then we're gonna hit this next peak. And eventually we're gonna summit this mountain. But that may not ever happen. Like this could be the lifelong journey to the top. I don't think people really ever summit the mountain. I really don't.
Oh my God.
I think that a lot of people start climbing and realize how fucking hard it is and go, okay, I'm going to go back down in my car and sit down.
What if the summit's like on the deathbed, we did it?
Yeah.
Stop. In my head, I'm just going, I can handle this. I can handle this. I can handle this. Anything you want to add before I keep going?
No, ma'am.
My question is, when I meet someone that I am really into, how do I suppress those feelings of anxiety during the talking or courting phase? My usual dating pattern is that when I feel like I am falling for someone, I get scared and go into fight or flight mode. I tend to break it off with someone before they get the chance to hurt me.
Okay. She says that she's normally sleeping with them in 3 or 4 days.
Correct.
So how fast are you actually falling in love with people? Because falling in love and falling in lust are two very different things.
Right. That's just obsession.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not the same thing. Heather said, grandmother believed you reached your peak before death. I really feel like we have so much to do in life.
Oh, yeah.
And like every little summit or every little peak is a victory.
Mm-hmm.
Like you should celebrate the shit out of those. We've had them. We've had a little, like all of those rough, like, all right, the next mile of this climb is going to suck ass. You're going to want to quit. You're going to get mad. You might cry. You're going to be covered in mud. You might bleed a little bit. But there's a beautiful fucking overlook right on the other side of that mile of shitty climb. Mm-hmm. And when you get to the other side of it, you can rest. You get to enjoy the peak, the overviews, all of it. And then you go back to fucking working again and hit that next, because every time you land, that next peak is a better view. I don't know. I really, anyways. I like being in the mountains.
Yeah, I can tell. So, okay. The courting phase is building a friendship.
Right. It's the discovery phase.
Right. So if you weren't, I'm having a lot of deja vu right now and it's really fucking with my head.
There's a glitch in the matrix.
So when you're meeting a new friend, like a chick, right? Say you're a heterosexual female, you're into dudes, you're meeting a chick, there's a possibility of being a friend, and you get to know them, you don't have that anxious attachment there. Are you feeling this way because this is a possible male partner and you're like already diving in head over heels? And you also need to be secure in yourself. A lot of that attachment comes from an insecurity in who you are, and you're looking for somebody else to stabilize you. Make sense?
It does. There's nothing wrong with having that like new, exciting, like lustful, everything smells good. Like
right.
Their skin is super soft. You've never experienced that. You know, you guys are fucking haven't farted in front of each other yet. And like, you're still going to the bathroom and actually closing the door. Like that like puppy love phase when everything is new and fresh is exciting. And there's nothing wrong with enjoying it. But if you don't rush into the sexual activity of all of that, you can prolong the shit out of that. Mm-hmm. The problem is most people want that instant gratification. They want that Amazon Prime of booty.
Right.
3 days or less. Like,
repeat that, please.
The Amazon Prime of booty.
That was genius.
Tell me I'm not wrong, though. Everything is instant gratification. You don't even have to go grocery shopping anymore.
Next day delivery.
Right.
For $9.99.
Yep.
Dropping with drones at this point. Like, it's so easy.
Yep.
Damn. Someone needs to call Tim Ross.
Oh.
Tell him that.
That's funny. That falls into the whole thing that we've talked about in the past, so about how people don't want to fix shit anymore because everything is disposable now. Nothing is
Right.
made to really truly last. It's hard to find parts. You know that if you have an 85-inch TV and something breaks in the TV, it's cheaper to buy a brand new 85-inch TV than it is to replace a simple part inside of the fucking television. That's just the way things are made now.
Being alive in 2023 kind of makes me uncomfortable.
Right. But
Yeah.
you know, we went through like what, 7 antique stores and a fucking yard sale while we were out there.
Yes.
And all that shit that was out there that was old could be repaired and still works.
Mm-hmm.
There were rotary phones out there that still fucking operated. There was
Yeah.
furniture out there that were like carpenter's tool chests that were from the fucking 1700s that were still in good shape.
Mm-hmm.
Things were made to last back then, and when they were broken, they were fixed. That comes down to the work that's being willing to be put in. Not that that's even really relevant to anything right now, but
I don't know. I'm really hung up on if this was not a possible romantic interest, you wouldn't have that anxiety.
right.
So I think dating apps already put on that pressure of you need to impress or they're going to move on.
Bro, see, I disagree with that. I think the dating apps are just to get a piece of tail. I don't.
Right.
I know that there are people who met on dating apps. We have a friend who is doing that shit right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know a whole lot of men who are on dating apps looking for longevity.
Right.
I've never been on a dating app, so maybe that's my cognitive bias.
Mm-hmm.
But every guy I know that's on a dating app that's using that shit's like, yo, look what I got last night. Check this out. I'm like, yeah, you're fucking a piece of shit. I don't know what to tell you. Like, why don't you date to marry instead of swiping to smash and forget? Like,
It makes me
that's the way I view that shit though.
right. That's just slimy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't use dating apps, or I'd take a break from dating apps.
So then what would you replace it with?
Nothing. I would work on my anxious attachment and figure out how to get through that.
So how would you meet somebody afterwards?
I would pick up a hobby, start doing things I enjoy, maybe going to a garden on the weekends. Bird watching. A lot of the same people do that.
Just things that you enjoy and hope that you meet somebody that has the same hobby that you have?
Yeah. Or while you're out and about, you meet somebody who knows somebody.
Yeah.
It's all about connections. And a dating app's not a connection. It's, you said Amazon Prime of booty.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I see it as.
Okay, moving on. I would recommend YouTube. I had anxious attachment style before you and I started courting and dating. It was something that I worked on massively. And I would have little spurts of it while we were dating. And I'm like, this is going to self-sabotage. Like, I am going to push this man away. I need to stop. And I would check myself. Did you notice that I had anxious attachment style?
I didn't even know that was a thing until like a month ago.
Okay.
Do you have an ink pen over there?
I do not.
Okay.
Why?
Because I have a thought and I have my notebook, Frank, sitting here,
You also have your phone.
but there's no way for me to write in him.
How unfortunate.
I know. So when we're done, I have to make sure that I get an ink pen from the desk and bring it back here.
So I would go to YouTube. That's how I got through a vast majority of my shit.
How did you learn about the anxious attachment style?
YouTubing things?
They just came up?
I would YouTube something. For example, like how to deal with anxiety. And I would follow that and it would go to depression and it would go to how it affects relationships. And I'm like, oh, duh, it's probably affecting my relationships. So I would go down to that rabbit hole and I came across attachment styles. And I Googled them and I picked the one that I felt the most like internally. And it was the anxious attachment style. I was pretty bad.
Are you going to do a deep dive on those?
I am. I have to, with the weekend being salad tossed the way it was, tomorrow, if one of the kids is not sick, that's going to be my day is reading. Getting ahead on that, getting just to where I have to make the notes, and then starting the attachment styles.
I think that we should split the difference short. Like, I don't think we should do the entire book.
Okay, then I'm stopping it now.
Oh, okay. I didn't mean that, but If I think that I'm getting a lot from Never Split the Difference because you're translating it in a different way than I read the book.
Right.
But I want to know about the attachment styles, but I don't want to read it because if you're going to do a deep dive on it and I read it ahead of time, then I'm going to have my own thought processes going in, and I don't want that. I want to learn as we're going so that I can hit you with things as I'm thinking about them.
Right.
Here's a thought, and this is what I was going to write down. If we look at what dating is now because of dating apps, there's thousands of people in your area that are on dating apps.
Yeah.
Thousands. Without a dating app and social media, your social circle was extended by friends of friends. Right? So in reality, you had access to maybe 100 people.
Right.
Throughout the course of a decade. You were a lot more selective in the people that you were choosing to court and go down that road with because that pool was so small. You knew a lot about people. You've already created bonds. It wasn't like, well, there's always the next guy. There's always the next woman. There's always someone else. I'm getting bored with this. Let me swipe to see who's replied. You know what I mean? Like, do you think that knowing that there are that many people out there that are on those dating sites, it's made it so that people aren't doing their due diligence in terms of like getting to truly know someone?
Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah. I have been listening to interviews. Today, the theme of today of the things that I was listening to while just going about the day was dating app horror stories.
Yeah.
And I would never, ever use a dating app in my life. It was just, and it was like podcast interviews.
Yeah.
Like they would come on and talk about their experience. And these are like hour and a half interviews, just one after one after one. There's hundreds of them out there, just never.
I understand that it's a tool. And like all tools, it really depends on how you use it as to how effective it is.
Right.
And I truly get that. And I'm not saying that everybody that's on dating apps are like scumbags.
Right.
Because I've never been on a dating app, I only see what I've seen from people that were in my life, and I didn't see longevity from any of that. I got to be honest. I think that I would rather meet someone organically and develop a friendship, and it only ever be a friendship than to go through 100 people on a dating app wasting my time because of the emotional cartwheeling.
I'm about to say the attachments and the breaking and that constant I'm not good enough.
Yeah. What am I doing wrong? What did they do wrong?
Right.
Oh, man.
You know, when you think about it, we're not supposed to have this much interaction as human beings.
Nope. 100 people in your lifetime.
Right. So I can't compete with the billions of other women on the internet. You know, if I was in a room with 1,000 other women and one man, the chances of me getting picked is 1 in 1,000.
Right.
You know, internet's just too much.
Right, but when you look at the internet, though, you are 1 in a billion of 1 in a billion. Who's to say that the one person that you know, the people that do pick you are actually looking for the same thing that you are in terms of longevity, or that you're even going to mesh, because you're basing it off of attraction and whatever blurb the profile photo says.
Right.
There's no real sustenance there. Like, I don't know. I don't get it. I guess maybe because I've never experienced that. I truly am speaking out of my ass because I don't know those things. Does that make sense?
Yeah. You ready to continue the email?
I'm gonna run and grab that ink pen real quick
Okay.
because I don't want to forget if I have another idea.
Okay.
My feet hurt so fucking bad.
I'm so sorry. All right, guys. So everybody who's on TikTok right now, we are currently live on YouTube. The number 2, Be Better on YouTube. If you want to be part of the conversation, go over there. That's where we're watching the chat. I'm not paying much attention over here. I do see you guys saying hi. Hello, welcome. I love that you're here. Go to YouTube.
We're an hour in if you want to kill that.
Yeah. All right. Well, I just got told to kill this.
I didn't know I said if you want to kill it. That's a you decision to make.
Yeah.
Yep. How many people are watching on there?
Right now, 527.
Yeah, I would just send them to YouTube.
All right, guys. So go ahead, go over to YouTube. I'm going to kill this live. The number 2, Be Better. We're going to carry on the conversation over there. Thanks for stopping by.
While she's getting rid of her TikTok, guys, if you have not yet, please like and share the content. The best thing that you can do to support what we are doing is to share the content. You can donate, you can super chat, you can join Patreon, you can do all those cool things that we enjoy you doing oh so much. But the best thing that you can do that costs you absolutely nothing is to share this shit to your socials.
Yes. Now that TikTok's off, I feel like I can like take my bra off or something. I know like reality YouTube is the one like we have to be like business for. I just feel more at home with the YouTube people.
Well, the people on YouTube aren't trying to troll us and like mass report our accounts.
Right. I thought I heard thunder. Checking the... Okay. I need to stop because we have somebody waiting for their email.
Yes.
I'm so not sure how to differentiate between a lie or my instincts when it comes to trusting the person I am dating. I know that is a me problem. I would really like yours, Peaches, and Chris's opinion on this. Am I really ready to date again? No.
I need information on the lie thing.
So, for example, with her anxious attachment, there were times when you and I were dating. Logically, I know you're at the gym. I texted you, but I see you're active on Facebook Messenger. So I think you're ignoring me. So my anxious attachment kicks in that you're talking to another girl. I'm not good enough. Whatever's happening. When in reality, you have like Spotify on your phone going and you have Messenger running in the background, whatever it is. In that moment, I can't tell if I'm having a gut instinct or if that's just my anxiety doing its fucking thing. So I have to be able to differentiate between the two.
That doesn't sound fun. That doesn't sound like a good way to live my life.
So do you remember those mornings I would text you and I'd be like, I woke up nauseous today?
Yeah.
I would wake up and I would throw up from my anxiety. And it's because I was battling the anxious attachment style because I wasn't trying to push you away. You look like you're processing a lot.
I am, because that's super fucking toxic. Like when you really think about that, like everything that you just said to live that way.
Yeah.
That like, you know how unhealthy it is to live in like stress, like all the time.
Yeah.
People will like literally get sick, not like throw up sick, like can develop ulcers,
Right.
and migraines, and their hair will fall out or their skin will get acne. Like your body will fall the fuck apart if you have long durations of resolved stress.
Yeah.
And the worse it is, the worse that shit is on your body. And having that mindset, you are making a decision to live like that. Instead of going, okay, this isn't serving me. It's making me sick. I'm going to let it go. And if he wants to go, he's going to go.
Right.
And there's nothing I can do about that. So I'm going to make the best that I can in the situation. And if they decide to go, they decide to go. You can't control somebody else. You can't make somebody do something that they don't want to do. And having that, who the fuck are you talking to? What are you doing? If you would have went that route, would have destroyed everything that we were building.
Right.
Because I don't want to be in a situation where I'm being questioned and not trusted while I'm in the gym, or whatever it was that I was doing in the moment. Like, and I understand that people have past trauma, but that's, you work through that before you start dating somebody else and get that out of your system, because you bring that past baggage into a new relationship. They tell you not to leave clothes on the floor.
Yeah.
Because when you leave clothes on the floor, all the energy that's in those clothes stay there. So you're supposed to, like, every time you clean the house, you do your laundry. So you're not leaving all that bad shit laying around. It's no different than you bringing all that bad shit into your next relationship.
Right. Do I have more work to do on myself?
Always.
Yes. The work never stops.
Nope.
Patron.
Side note, there are not many options in the dating pool in the city where I live. It is a small town where everyone knows everyone, and the bar for single men is set very low. I am somewhat independent as I have to be as a single mom, so I do have certain and specific standards when it comes to choosing who I date. Not sure how relevant that part is. Thank you for everything you guys are doing. With love and respect.
That last part's relevant because you should have standards.
Yes.
And if that bar is low, don't date.
Correct.
Eventually, somebody new is going to come around that everybody doesn't know or that you've never looked at before that's going to match some of those fucking boxes that you hold, and like, it'll work. Mm-hmm. You don't have to be in a relationship with people. Like, you could be single for 5 or 6 years or 10 years even, before you meet that one person that fucking meets all those needs. The idea of needing to be in a relationship is a problem for me.
Yeah. So my recommendation, delete all the dating apps off your phone. Deep dive into understanding who you are as a person. Unlearn your attachment styles. Learn healthy habits. Once you do all of that, you're going to be amazed at where you're at in life and the people who are in your circle. In 1 year, your life is going to be totally different. And I would put money on the fact that you've met somebody not on a dating app.
Yeah. I agree with that. It's fucking crazy how fast life can change.
Yeah, in a year.
Yeah, it's not even been a year. We're 7 months into this.
Yeah.
6.5. We're not even 7 months yet. We created the YouTube channel on the 11th of December, but we didn't actually have it. We didn't actually have a podcast up until almost the end of December.
Yeah, I think we posted our first one after Christmas.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. All right. Any last final thoughts on that email?
She's typing one. I think that what you said is spot on. She just said thank you. I gotta be honest. You learn a lot by being alone and accepting it. And when you're not looking anymore is when you find shit.
Yeah. Do you remember when we were still friends that I would text you and be like, I'm scared, I hate being alone? Because at that point, I was like 5 or 6 months into being single. And the nights that I didn't have the kids at my place, it was quiet.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there in silence for the first time ever in my life. And it was absolutely horrifying. And then I started enjoying it. Like I would clean my whole house and the kids would be gone and it's staying clean and I can have the windows open and listen to the wind and put whatever I want on TV and sit there with no pants on. It's fucking dope.
You learn who you are in those moments.
Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely worth it. You'll be surprised. You actually like who you are as a person when you don't have people influencing you.
Jen A said, I have decided alone is my current level up.
I love that.
That is a fucking level up.
It
man.
really is.
When you can be alone and be comfortable with yourself, like you change, you evolve as a person. That's your fucking cocoon phase.
Yeah. Excuse me why I Instacart stuff to make gravy and biscuits.
Okay. She said, that's where I'm at right now. I almost feel like I'd rather be alone, but that's not what I want long term. That's good. It means that you have goals and like you do want to have that peace with somebody. But be alone for a little while. Wait until that person comes along and don't settle. Don't just jump into things and dive in head first because there's interest there. Like cultivate it.
Never dive into a pool without looking at it first, because if you head dive into the 3 feet, you're screwed.
Yep.
I wish I had time to make homemade biscuits. Oh my God, my thighs are going through it so bad. That Lighthouse was brutal. I didn't realize how bad my legs hurt until the adrenaline wore off.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't realize how bad my legs were until today because my feet were bad yesterday from not having my flip-flops all weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, we forgot to hit that fucking store in Fort Myers today.
It was the mosquitoes.
It was.
I blame them, yeah.
Why do my legs itch all over again?
How many biscuits do you usually eat?
4. 2.
1, 2.
Right?
3, 4.
No, 4. I ate 4.
5, 6. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm getting 8 biscuits.
2 at a time.
Is there anything you need?
Bananas maybe? I don't know. I haven't looked in the fridge.
Fanta.
She said, thank you so much. I respect you both so much.
Well, thank you for entrusting us to give you some advice, and I hope that long term this works out for you.
Same. Do you want to read the super chats or do you want to...
Yeah, you can go ahead and knock out some super chats while I do this.
Okay, we got one from Julie Rocks. Peaches, I'm terrified of heights too, so kudos to you for going up. I would love to see your antique finds. I really enjoy browsing antique stores. If you are still here when we're done with emails, maybe I'll go grab those bags because they're all just sitting on the floor. Oh, you also got that dandelion thing.
Yes, that's in my purse.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just you can pluck it out. Brown bag.
Yeah,
looks like it could be.
Or I could just bring you your purse because I'm not going in your bag. Deanna Phillips for $5 said, finding you guys has helped me so much. Realizing my flaws and stuff I can work on in therapy. Thank you for all you do. Summer Breeze Jones, in your downloads, can you add a list of the process of courting, dating, and into marriage? Things that should be discussed before, during. Thank you for inspiring change in my relationships. No, we can't.
Didn't we do that?
No, yeah, it's
Wait.
episode 11.5 through 16 of the side piece. It should be an individual playlist that if it's not, it will be by tomorrow because I'm going to go in there and create a playlist for just those 6 videos.
Mm-hmm.
Robert Sedgwick for $25 said, hey, I'm a 23-year-old single male and I want to find someone. I'm just like your husband. I want to provide and take care of. What is Burr? I want to find someone B-U-R.
I think he meant but.
Oh, but, okay.
Yeah, because they're right next to each other.
Well, that doesn't make sense. Why would you put but I'm just like your husband? Shouldn't have been and I'm just like your husband? Anyways, I want to provide and take care, but how am I supposed to find women that's going to not use me or waste my time? At 23 years old, are you actually financially stable enough and a steward of your money to truly take care of a woman and offer your last name to her? Mm-hmm. Because I got to be honest, you're gonna be dealing with people wasting your time and using you for your money no matter what.
Yeah.
You court for a while, date for a while. Don't fucking start tricking and trying to show off that you got money. Because if you really had it, you wouldn't have to show that shit off. Take time. Take time, guys. Like, it's...
Definitely take time.
Everybody wants to rush into shit. There's no reason for that.
As somebody who rushed into things, I now have 2 kids that live in 2 different households. And knowing that I deprived them of having one happy household is something that I have to live with.
Yeah.
Because I didn't do my due diligence as a parent.
Chaotic thoughts.
Or as a person.
I want to join Patreon now. You should join Patreon. You should get into that $15 tier and get access to the Discord. Bunny Chan Sign says for $20, what about issues with physical intimacy? He never initiates anything and doesn't make me feel loved. I've brought up several times and nothing changes. He struggles with work because of short staffing, so he's stressed out. So what are you doing to help relieve that stress from him to maybe make him want to be forthcoming?
Right.
Are you making it so that when he comes home, you guys are not intimate together? Are you not? Because women control the intimacy in the house. Something's not right in your relationship if the intimacy isn't there. People want to get mad at me and be like, well, what do men control? That you can get mad about it all you want. Women control the intimacy in a house.
I love that I can control the intimacy in the house.
Yeah.
Like, you're able to gauge me. When I'm really going through it, I'm like, hey, I'm going through it. Depending on how touchy-feely I am, you know, like where I'm at. When I'm off of it a little bit, you know, okay, I got to give her some space. I don't know. It works for us.
So in the event that I was super stressed out from the shop and the podcast and finances and dealing with employees and all of the shit that I have to deal with and our intimacy started dying, what would you do to try to change it? Because you would notice it's happening.
Right, I would. So in those instances, well, in that instance specifically, you're stressed out with the business, intimacy starts to die. I would step up my game a little bit, like pick up the slack and see if that does anything. If I notice that you are turning down my initiations, that's when I would ask, okay, what's going on? This is unlike you.
Are you depressed?
Right. What can I do? Is there anything I can do? Is this something we're just gonna have to go like ride with until the business is taken care of or we get over whatever needs to get over with? Yeah. There would definitely be conversations and problem solving.
I think that people don't realize sometimes that we just need a break.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like if you're a business owner or you're in management and you have to deal with other people's problems, like they say that, you know, when you're working for your family.
Right.
You have to support your family. When you're a business owner, you're supporting 10 families because everybody that works for you is responsible for their family and you're responsible for them.
Yeah.
And like there's a stress that comes in that most people will never understand. If you fail, everyone that works underneath of you is failing. It sucks. I feel like there's a lot that could be done in a sexless marriage to bring sex back. Sometimes it's as simple as a conversation. Sometimes it's being the one to initiate because it's not being initiated otherwise. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's going, hey, I know that you're super fucking stressed out and you're kind of depressed. What can we do to get you to recharge? Do you want to go fishing? You want to go hunting? You want to go to a cabin in the woods for a week? Can you take a vacation? Do you have paid time off? Like, what can we do to recharge the batteries? Because I guarantee you self-care is not there. And if sex isn't happening and we're in an intimate-less relationship, that's both of us. It's not just one person. It doesn't matter if I'm the fucking problem and I'm depressed. You're making a decision to allow that shit to ride, and it's affecting our intimacy.
Right.
It's a two-way street. I don't believe that shit's one-sided.
Instacart's not doing the Instacart thing anymore.
As in they're not delivering. Oh, it's 8:00.
Yeah.
That's okay. We got a $50 super chat.
Oh, dope.
Says this is the email. This is for the email, but it's pretty long. So you guys can read it next time if need be. Thank you guys for your time. Fun fact, we have email screeners. So while we read this next email, they'll probably get all that done.
Dope.
Because they are on their shit. Oh, hey, Jen A, while I'm on here, I need your email address for PayPal. Can you send that to me in the group chat? I meant to ask you that earlier and completely forgot. And if I didn't say it just now, I would have forgot again. Last super chat, and then we're going to get in the next email.
All right.
Tony says, you guys have helped me start to grow, and are helping my come up with new ideas on how to work on my marriage. I found you at a low point after we had a huge fight. I appreciate you two so much. This is those who need to hear the message will. And I really hope that we're finding people at the right time. I really do, because, if you heard the message and you didn't need the message, you wouldn't have heard it. You wouldn't have been here.
Yeah.
If everything was super dope, you'd be like, yeah, my marriage is dope. I don't need to listen to this next. You know what I mean? And like, the people who are listening are actually listening because they find value in it. Next email, man.
Onwards. All right. I
victory.
appreciate everything you do. Note for Chris and Peaches. All right. The author identifies as non-binary. I just want to throw in that I don't mind if you misgender me. I completely understand and I won't get offended.
Oh my God, you're an adult. It's wild.
Well, I'm going to say I appreciate that because when I am brainstorming and I have to follow multiple trains of thoughts, the likelihood of misgendering is going to be very high. So I apologize beforehand. So the person is 21 years old, stay at home.
How old?
21.
And a stay-at-home.
Correct.
Okay.
I've known him since we were in middle school and they've been together for 5 years. Traditional relationship with pink job, blue jobs. He's 24. Everything okay?
Yeah, I'm actually glad that you paused for a second. Great Wolf Tactical just became a member for 3 months early access on YouTube, and he said spending time with the kids, popping in to say I love you guys. $300 in dog trains today. 2 tomorrow. Keep hustling, y'all.
I love that.
I do too. I actually, for those of you who are in the chat right now that are part of the men's group, I would like to do a check-in tomorrow night on a live call. I kind of wanted to do it tonight, but I don't think I've got the mental capacity after the last 2 days. But I have some things that I want to share with you guys about our vacation and some epiphanies that I've had, and also fill you in on my level up that happened today. You gonna cry?
A little bit. Don't name it. You're giving it power by doing that.
What, you're crying?
Yes.
I wish that I could do that.
What?
Get emotional and not fall the fuck apart.
Yeah.
My crying it's hard. Like, it's
Yeah.
very hard for me not to like really melt down when it happens.
Oh, I've worked on this.
So you can cry and talk through it. I
Yeah.
can't do that.
I used to not be able to.
I become Ron Burgundy in the phone booth
Yeah.
when I start crying. Let me say something. Ah! Yep.
I would be I used to get that big lump in my throat and I felt like I couldn't breathe and I couldn't talk because the crying and emotional was just so bad. That's something I've really had to work on.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I can do it.
My crying when I get to that point and I try to talk, everything gets high pitched because I can't keep it in. Yeah, it's bad. It's so bad. So bad.
You're safe with me.
I know. It's the internet I'm worried about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the internet gonna do?
I don't know. Make fun of me. Look at this big bad tattooed guy crying like a pussy. The person that wrote that email is working their way into Discord now.
Okay.
I gotta be honest, man. This whole thing is fucking wild.
Everything.
It really is. And you know, I've been.
Ooh.
What?
I tapped my own glasses and spooked me. Don't tap the glass, guys.
I've been, you know, I have been processing a lot. I spent a lot of time in silence and prayer the last 2 days. Mm-hmm. Like even on the way home tonight, when I was by myself driving home, I was listening to scripture. Like I took in 8 hours of sermon in the last 2 days. I really am working on a lot. I am working on a lot. And some of it is acceptance. Some of it is truly letting go and just letting this be whatever it is and not trying to control things too much.
You mean the podcast?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Trying to understand things better in my marriage, to be a better husband, to be a better, to be a better servant in the house. There's just a lot. There's a lot. You can never, you're not going to ever be there. You're going to be always evolving and growing, and the people that you live with are going to be evolving and growing. And if you don't pay attention to their new sprouts and the shit's going on with them, you don't know when they're going to need water or if the soil's got enough nutrients. Like you really have to fucking pay attention. And that comes into being selfless instead of being selfish. Mm-hmm. I'm really on that today.
I can tell. It's a good thing to be on though.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
All right. She's in the chat.
Right.
They are in the chat. I don't know how that works. I got to be honest. I've never cared enough about somebody's pronouns to give a shit. Cause I just don't like people enough to care.
So, yes, I don't know if you heard or not, the likelihood of us misgendering is very high, especially when I'm trying to problem solve. I'm not going to be able to follow multiple trains of thoughts at once. So, I will apologize beforehand. Is there
a way that you would prefer to us to address you?
Because they is going to be a very confusing thing for me to think about when I'm trying to problem solve.
Right. Well, I don't understand the they them thing anyways, because it sounds like multiple.
Right. I'm picturing multiple people in a situation. It's hard for me to follow trains of thoughts.
Yeah.
Oh, where am I going?
Zeke, we just got a payment as well. Zach, I'm sorry. Zach. I don't know why he just called you Zeke. She said it's okay. You can use she, her.
Alrighty.
Okay. Simple. Easy peasy.
All right. So the SO, he is in the Navy and has his own car detailing business. No children. Move in together officially 2 years ago.
Okay, wait. You said car detailer? He has his own business car detailing?
Correct.
Okay, that's good money.
It is.
I know, because we have a guy that we pay every Monday. Dude makes a fucking killing.
And they live together alone.
Okay, no kids.
Right. No in-laws, no relatives. Hi there. First off, patron.
Patron.
First off, I would like to say I hope you both are doing well. I have been watching you guys since episode 9, and I've been binge watching since then.
Did you go back and watch the other 9 episodes? 8 episodes? I don't think she's in the chat anymore.
Okay, I'm going to keep reading.
Okie dokie.
I love how you are with each other. It reminds me of my relationship. Even though my relationship is healthy, I love listening to what you guys have to say.
Oh, she's still in the chat. I'm so lost.
Okay, yeah. So she did go back and watch everything. Okay. They have known each other since they were in middle school, since she was 11 and he was 13. There have been many moments in our lives where we drifted apart due to life. Then we would reconnect afterwards. The last time we reconnected, I was 15. He was 17. We were in the talking stage. So many emails are popping in.
Yeah. Fucking phone's going nuts over here.
I love it. Keep it up. We were in the talking stage for a year. Then we started dating. When we were just talking, he started his process to enlist in the Navy. Fast forward 7 months into our relationship, he went to boot camp, and I decided to stick with him through this hard transition.
Okay, so sacrifices are being made. This is healthy. Guys, this is what it's supposed to look like.
Mm-hmm. They've known each other
Yeah.
They talked, what she said, for a year.
Yeah. Well, yes.
Yeah, they were in talking stage for a year. Then they started dating. I'm here for this. For some context, I grew up in an abusive household.
Same.
I am autistic and have quiet BPD. I always try my best to heal and grow as a person. I've been on my journey since I was 16. However, I couldn't truly put anything to practice until I moved out of my toxic environment when I was 18.
Yeah, you can't heal in the areas in the environment you were hurt in.
My parents taught me everything I did not want to be as a person and what I did not want in my life. My partner thankfully grew up in a loving and supportive home. Oh, come on. How do I... Shouldn't be in charge of technology. I don't understand how it works sometimes. We are 5 years into our relationship so far. We have been married for 4 years. However, we don't like calling each other husband-wife. We have other honorifics for ourselves, but to the vanilla world, we just use partner and spouse. Did I say that right? Honorifics? Do you mean like you just have other names for each other?
Zach said you said it right.
Okay.
You know,
I'd have to Google that word.
he said you said it right.
Right, but I don't know the definition of it.
It's a way to honor somebody.
Oh, okay.
So when it comes down to it, society using broad terms is fine. It's a way to communicate with everyone so that everybody understands what the fuck you're talking about. When you start changing your terminology of shit to try to like be outside of the narrative, it makes it a lot harder for the general population to have a conversation and include you. But to have pet names or things that you call yourself outside of that is healthy. It shows an intimacy and a love and something more than what society has. There's nothing wrong with that. But you also don't have to shun the general labels that come along with shit, because if it's a broad way for somebody to show respect and go, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know you were married. That's your husband. How are you, sir? Like, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just polite. It's an easy way to go. And even if you don't like that shit, you can recognize that somebody's trying to be respectful to you. I love that they have their own names that they use, because we do the same shit. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, I truly see that as healthy.
Yeah.
I need another water.
Really?
Yeah. Would you like another soda or something?
No. I did want gravy and biscuits. I'm going to wait to read until you get back.
Right. Well, the camera's on you, so.
All right.
You know what that means.
I love learning new words, guys. Honorifics. And I nailed it. That's a first-ish.
Can you remind me when we're done to refill the fridge with water?
Yes.
Oh.
Oh, Lord. That was a... Ooh, ab cramp. Okay. Are you ready?
I am.
All right.
I'm always ready. My mother's name was Helen. Everyone in the chat that's over 40 understood that reference.
Okay. All right. We have dealt with long distance for 3 years with 2 deployments and a couple of detachments. So is it on and off long distance, or is it like 3 consecutive years you guys have been doing the long distance?
On and off long distance.
Okay, on and off. We always strive to be the best version of ourselves. We don't drink, don't do drugs, and don't party. The only thing I do smoke is weed. Stamp of approval. I wish my mallet was in range.
It's right there.
I know, but I'd have to fumble the moment's gone. It's
Okay.
too late. Next time. We are both introverts. He has ADHD and developed PTSD due to the Navy. We have lived together for 2 years so far. It's nothing but peace and happiness. We preach communication, vulnerability, accountability, patience, and understanding. I always say communication can only go so far without comprehension.
You can't. It's the same thing. Communication
Right,
without understanding or comprehension isn't communication. You're talking to a fucking wall.
Right.
Yeah, you can't have one without the other. It is the opposite side of a coin.
It's like the yin and yang.
Yeah. Yeah, one does not exist without the other one.
I am a stay-at-home partner. I take care of cleaning the house and chores. My partner takes care of finances, doing the oil change in our car, cooking, and heavy labor. The only time he picks up my slack is if I'm on my monthly and if I let my depression take over. It feels like the longer we're together, the stronger our relationship gets.
This is all super healthy.
Right. Like,
I don't understand why an email's coming through. Like,
right. What's happening?
Yeah, I'm waiting for that. But did you just send us an email to brag?
I mean, if that's what it is, hell yeah, brag about
Right,
it.
fuck yeah.
I'm here for it. It feels like the longer we're together, the stronger our relationship gets. With every relationship, there are learning curves, and ours was figuring out our communication style and understanding mental illness. The understanding mental illness is such a big one.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge.
Before moving in with each other, my partner did not know he had ADHD and developed PTSD 2 years later. He was the type of person who thought mental illness could be solved easily. For example, how he viewed ADHD was, what do you mean you can't focus? Just focus. I really don't mean this in an asshole way. So was he really doing the ADHD thing and going, nah, bro, you ADHD ain't a thing. What do you mean you can't focus?
Yeah.
Look at me. I'm focusing on everything. I love that. Damn, I can't imagine what that moment was like for him. Where they were like, you have ADHD, and he was like, no, I can't. I look at everything that I get done, and then he looks around and it's just like
Chaos.
3/4 done projects, and oh man.
I gotta be honest, I think that a lot of that comes down to being committed to what you're doing.
Right.
There's a discipline that will override ADHD. Think I'm wrong, look at AJ.
Yeah, I think you have to know you have it though. If you're unaware of,
I gotta be honest, I'm fairly certain at this point that like
do you think
it might be a thing for me.
really ADHD? I see it.
I never did until long conversations with AJ, and then I'm like, fuck you, bro. Like,
That's what happened with husband here.
yeah.
Wow.
I'm good on it though.
Yeah.
Because even if I have it, I win.
Yeah, the more I'm hearing things like quiet BPD, didn't know what that was.
Yeah.
Now it's all right. So whenever my partner saw me have an episode, he would go into fix-it mode and was ignorant at times, saying I was being self-destructive when I wasn't.
Are you sure? Because that is part of being borderline.
That is.
That self-destruct button is this fucking big, and it has a hair trigger on it. Like a mustache hair
Yeah.
could depress that button.
Yeah, there was a couple times throughout my day where it's just absolutely catastrophic. I'm like, fuck this day, I'm done. I'm like, no, you're overreacting. You gotta dial it back a little bit. You just stepped in water wearing a sock. It's not the end of the day.
No, that is the end of the fucking day. That absolutely is the end of that's the end of the fucking day. Yeah. Yeah, that's I'm having a full-blown fucking meltdown over that.
Yeah, I have to like belly breathe. I have to fight urges to like break glass and whatnot. Yeah. All right, I self-destructed a lot in the beginning, but slowly throughout the relationship, I fight with myself about it and have it in a chokehold because I don't want to self-sabotage.
Good.
Dope. Whenever my episode starts, I disassociate and become nonverbal on the outside. On the inside, I would have a war with myself. I would try to tell him beforehand that I was slipping, and his fix-it mindset would overwhelm me with questions on how to help, which would send me more into an episode, and that's when I would explode on myself.
You know that comes from a place of love and trying to help the situation to make you feel better, not to make things worse.
Right.
When you understand it and you perceive the situation from a place of love, it gives you a different feeling about what's going on. Mm-hmm. But there's also those times where you go, hey, I'm having a really fucking bad day right now and I just need to get through it. It's my borderline. You didn't do anything wrong. I want to set the world on fire today and then blow myself up afterwards. Like, this is just the way it's going to go until I process this shit. When you have those conversations and you let your person know that it can't be fixed, it's just your mental health, you get a different outcome from it.
Yeah, I just coax. I go about my day. I check on you. Little touches, make you your favorite dinner.
Go outside.
Yeah.
So that I'm not, rubbing off on you.
It's not, okay, so it's not rubbing off on me. There are times when I'm not going through it that I just chill on the couch and I knit.
Yeah.
Or I watch a video or I do whatever I do. I know when like you're really, really going through it, anything could agitate you.
Yeah.
Like I could step the wrong way on and you could hear a crunching noise or whatever.
When believe it or not, when I'm going through my borderline episodes, my overwhelmed is like
through the roof.
Yeah, it's like on 99 of 100. Like I've had panic attacks from textures of clothing when I'm going through borderline episodes. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean like, oh, I can't breathe. I mean like I'm sweating profusely and like my entire body's shaking and I can't get my fucking shirt off fast enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen you almost rip your shirt off.
Yeah. It happens.
Yeah.
It happens. And then if because I'm sweating, I try to take my shirt off and it's stuck, it's even worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I do that too. I ordered a dress because I've been working out. My muscles are getting bigger. So the dress fits perfectly everywhere but my biceps. So I had the dress on and I'm like trying to like rearrange it and I'm trying to grab the fabric, but I'm pinching my own skin. Yeah. And I can't grab it and I can't move it and it's too much. Too much.
Zach, we got another email submitted.
All right.
Or form or whatever.
So he would ask questions, try to fix it, overwhelm her, she would explode. That was when we first moved in. We have since grown. Now when I notice I'm slipping into an episode, I catch it in time. Whenever he gives me a massage, I smoke and take a hot shower. We do breathing techniques. We go out for a drive, watch a comfort show or cute animal videos.
She said, I'm so sorry. I don't understand. Why are you sorry? Oh, okay. Okay.
I am confusion. Have you seen that? There was, I can't remember where she was from. She was trying to learn English, I believe. And she was like, I don't understand. There's Kansas and then there's Arkansas. She's like, no, it's Arkansas. Why is it Arkansas? And she was like, I am confusion. And I was like, I get it.
That's funny.
You want to get back into the email?
Yes, please.
Alrighty. So my partner and I have never raised our voices to each other. Whenever I feel I'm about to raise my voice, I catch myself, breathe, and find another way to articulate what I want to get across.
21 years old, managing her borderline and not losing her shit. You know how fucking hard that was for me in my 20s?
Yeah. We say thank you for literally everything. We tend to get each other's love languages and focus a lot on intimacy. I take his boots off when he gets home from work. He dries me off with a towel when we get out of the shower. When he's cooking, I join him in the kitchen, and depending on the mood, we would watch a show, listen to music, watch his favorite YouTubers, or watch you guys. Oh my God.
It sounds like us, minus we don't watch us.
We're included on the list of things they do for comfort. Stop it. I love that. It does sound like us. Why are you emailing us?
All the way down to the YouTube.
Right. While he is cooking, I would talk to him every so often. I would walk to him every so often to kiss and rub his back while also squeezing his butt. They're vulnerable in that time.
Yeah.
You gotta catch them off guard. We have always been able to be our weird selves around each other. Yeah. I do it in public now, too.
Yeah, we don't give a fuck.
Yeah. We support each other's hobbies and passions. My partner dabbles with playing the guitar and photography. Recently, when we camped at Ginny Springs, I asked him to teach me how to work the camera, and he was beaming.
Are you a cracker? Are you both from Florida also? Jenny Springs isn't far from us.
No.
No. It's like 2 hours.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, well, there you go. They're on the other coast. So a little bit further for them than it was for us.
Yeah. He was happy to see me take pictures with the camera. I love learning about personal development. I read that he was happy to see me take pictures with a camera, and I just thought, how was it for you the first time we went out and took pictures together and you saw me doing the thing and like actually trying to take pictures?
I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Not because you're actively trying to take pictures, but it's because it's something new that we can talk about.
Yeah.
And like you still struggle with your exposure triangle.
I do. I really do.
Every time you pick your camera up, you're like, what's your ISO set at? I'm like, babe, we're outside.
No, I'm
set
just-
it at 100.
I want to make sure we're at the right, like, if I ask you and you're like 180 and I'm at like 160, I'm like, okay, I'm close. It's not like I'm at like 300. It's me gauging
Yeah.
my experience and where I'm at. Sometimes I'm really off and you don't.
I don't what?
I guess you really don't know what I'm looking at when I ask you those questions.
No, I don't.
So when I ask you those questions, that's why. I'm recognizing it can come across as I'm just not retaining absolutely anything now.
That's it.
Wow. No, I get everything going and I'm looking at it. I'm like, okay, it looks decent. And I'm looking at it. I don't know if that's right. So I ask, oh, what's your ISO at?
Yeah.
I guess it would help if I included mine when I...
Yeah.
What a communication flaw. My apologies. I can see how that's confusing for you.
It's all right. You still take good pictures. I mean, it doesn't really
Right,
matter.
yeah.
The only thing that I ever worry about with my ISO is I always just try to keep that as low as possible. And I want my shutter speed to be over 250
Yeah.
because my hands shake. If you've got like a 200 millimeter or longer and you're shooting less than 250th of a second, you're going to see the handshake. Or you're going to get ready to press the button and it's going to move a little bit. You know what I mean? Because it's such a heavy zoomed in lens. It's no different than shooting like firearms. If you're off, a millimeter down range, it could be an inch off on your target. So
We side railed
we did because photography.
into the email. Oh, I love that we can talk about photography. It's kind of top level shit and my mistakes, but it's photography. One of my favorite photos from recent is that lizard on the bark that I took.
Yeah.
That's a good picture. I have a good peacock one too.
I got a couple of good bee photos today.
Yeah, I love that.
I formatted your card.
Did you?
I did.
On my...
I did.
Thank you.
Getting ready to leave this morning. I'm like, you got everything? You're like, yep. I'm like, are you sure? And you're like, yeah, I got my camera. I got my vape, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you got your battery and SD card? And you're like, I don't know. Do I? And I'm like, do you?
I was like making sure I got everything this morning. I was like, I took my birth control. I have my vape. And I'm like tooting out to the car. And I'm like, I'm on it today. And you're like, are you? And I was like, yeah, I think I'm doing really good. Like, I haven't had to go back into the house. And you're like, what about a battery? And I was like, and I'm like fumbling the camera. And I was like, I don't even remember where it goes. And I was like, I've never had to think about this before.
That's because I always do it for you.
In that moment, I felt so vulnerable.
Oh, man.
I felt like I showed up to school naked. I was like, you said SD card, and my brain went like primitive, and I was like, card, DS, SD. Oh man.
Oh.
Okay. Back to this. I love you.
I love you too.
I love hearing you say that.
What?
That you love me. Makes me do the thing.
You trying to peacock over there?
I am, yeah. Whew, okay. So I love learning about personal development, psychology, foraging, etc. And he lets me info dump on him. This is literally us.
It is. Every fucking aspect of it.
I do that. I look at you and I say psychology blurbs, and I talk about Dr. Phil talking points, and I thought about getting the letters on my name. And I'm gonna go harvest cattails probably tomorrow morning. And I dump all of this on you, and you nod just like you're doing now.
Whatever makes you happy, babe.
I know. I write poetry, and he loves when I read him what I wrote. We both want a garden one day. Aside from the Navy, my partner has a car detailing business and wants to start a woodworking business. I help him with cars, and when he starts woodworking, I will also help him with that. I'm sad that this podcast wasn't a thing when we needed it most. We had to learn through trial and error. We are by no means perfect. We still have hiccups along the way. However, we go through it together and find ways to solve what's happening. I've been seeing that a lot. People saying, I wish I had this 10 years ago. I wish I had this 4 years ago. Yeah. You have us now. Imagine where you're going to be in 10 years.
When I was telling that guy today at the desk that we were sitting at about the podcast, he was like, damn, if I'd have known about this ahead of time, maybe I wouldn't have gotten divorced. And I was like, we hear that all the time, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really felt like you pantsed me when you asked me, do I have a battery? That was a rough moment for me.
This should have been a good moment for you, though, knowing that I
Yeah.
do that shit so you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, no, that was definitely like, I recognize that.
I
rely
normally
on
pack
you,
a
yeah.
camera bag for you, like.
Yeah. You spoil me.
Fucking Zach.
Patron.
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 Got you, fuckers. What are you smirking at over there?
Because I had that moment of like, oh fuck. And then I just went back to tooting like my husband's got me. Really, I can't tell you how many times throughout the day I'm just like, my husband's got me. At the antique stores, when you found that little spoon when I was unable to find one, I was like, he's got me, my husband. You driving me to Sonic when I was too stoned to drive myself. My husband's got me. Pointing out cows every time I miss them.
Yeah.
Come on. The house could burn down tomorrow while we're out and about, and I'd be like, okay, my husband's got me. And oh no, I'm bragging.
It's all right. We have 3 and 4 in the drive ready to go.
All right. Whenever we go through hard moments, I like to keep it between us until we work through it because I won't let any negativity bias get to us.
Oh, he said we're on 3. 4 is next.
Okay.
So that's normal shit. If that's the case, depending on how much time we have, we might be able to actually do 4 full emails because one of these was just a super chat from last week.
Right.
Okay. What she said is the way that you're supposed to do that. Mm-hmm. If you want to talk about your life after the shit has been resolved and you've already worked through all of it, you can. Mm-hmm. We do that.
We do.
That's the only time we ever tell anybody anything. And it's on the podcast so that people can go, okay, this is what we went through and here's how we found a resolution to it. Mm-hmm. But if you and I were in conflict for a fucking month, I wouldn't say shit to anyone. Not my mom, not my kid, not my sister, no one.
Yeah.
And when we finally worked through it, be like, you guys won't fucking believe this. It took us a month to figure out that we couldn't figure out what she meant when she said this and when I said this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
because after the fact it's done, it's resolved. Because they don't have an opinion. It's over with. You can shut the fuck up. Like,
And it wouldn't even be hostile if it were a month. It would be, I'm thinking about the conversation. I had this thought. Does this make sense to you?
right.
And then we'd go back and forth and be, okay, let me think on it a little bit more.
We do that. It's like playing mental chess with each other.
Right. Okay. I'm glad that you were able to help people, even if it gets frustrating at times.
Boy, does it. Boy, does it. You know what my frustration is? We've realized that the frustration that we get in the emails is people who have had their answers over 7 or 8 episodes and go, we found you on TikTok. We love your podcast, even though they've never watched a single episode.
Right.
They've watched 1-minute segments of clips that we've put on TikTok to get people talking and have no fucking idea because they haven't watched the content. And they sent us, a 19-paragraph email, and everything that they've asked has been answered over other episodes. Use the fucking search bar.
Yeah. We have links and everything. Too. That's another one that gets under my skin.
Yeah.
You guys have a YouTube channel?
Yeah.
You guys have a podcast?
On a video where we were talking about going to our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
We're getting better about it.
We are.
We pray about that a lot, actually. That is one of the things that I pray for every single time we pray before we record. To give us empathy for the people on the other end of the emails.
Ready to get back into it?
Yes, ma'am.
Whenever my partner isn't able to watch your podcast with me, he will ask me what you guys are talking about. And then we have a conversation about that.
Love that.
I appreciate the work you guys do. It's refreshing to see a couple being in a happy, fulfilling relationship with mental illness and past traumas. I'm grateful you both found each other.
Is that the end of the email?
There's a follow-up.
Okay.
That's a good ending, though.
Yeah, right, but this is not somebody just paid to have their email read.
Right.
But there's not like a there's not like what can I do or like help. I need somebody.
All right, so follow-up. I understand writing another email will put me back in the line, and I don't mind that. The reason why I emailed in the first place was because I saw the multiple episodes where the both of you had nothing but frustrating emails. And I remember Chris saying if any of us had good stories to send them your way. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, me too.
I also wanted to clarify that my relationship isn't sunshine and rainbows 24/7.
No one's is. Not even ours.
No.
It's like 90-10.
Yeah, I would say like 90-10. Yeah. Still an A.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
There's just days that we get underneath of each other's skin sometimes. It's going to
Yeah.
happen. Like,
Yeah.
it's going to happen. It could be something as simple as I saw something on YouTube that pissed me off. And you come in and go, hey, and say something about cattails and harvesting. And I'm like, leave me alone.
Or you have that air of, I don't care right now. Yeah.
It happens. Sometimes you're just not going to be on that same wavelength.
And those are times where I'm like, okay, he's going through it. And in my mind, I'm like, asshole, but I'm not going to say it.
Right.
Because that's first reaction. Then I get to decide what I can do with that information. And I choose to ignore it. Oh, you're holding your phone up.
I was. Anyways, that was something that needed my attention. Right
Okay.
away.
We've definitely had rough patches, including how he is my first relationship, and all of his relationships in the past were not serious as we were kids. I was a mess when we first got together. My mental illness was at an all-time high, but thankfully he was patient and understanding. We have definitely grown as a couple, but we also focus on individually growing as people. There have been times where we have both been in the roommate phase due to being in the Navy, but we always find ways to break it. I also debated telling the story, but I hope if I do tell it, it might help people watching. Last year, my partner cheated on me. I wasn't ready for that.
I wasn't. You know what? Fuck it, dude. I don't even care.
Right.
Like they have, regardless of what's happened
Right.
in the past and past transgressions, they have a healthy fucking relationship.
they really
right now.
do. They really do.
That shit. People ask us all the time, "Can you come back from that?" You can.
You can. You just have to dedicate yourselves to it.
It's just a lot of fucking work.
It is.
Let's hear that story. I'll stop interrupting.
He was thinking about being with someone else and helping her with her kids. He fantasized that for one day, but he pulled away from me for 2 weeks because of the guilt that he harbored. I knew something was wrong. I would ask him if everything was okay, and he lied to me and said yes. One day I found out that he lied to me, and we had a conversation for a couple of hours about the situation. For clarification, I am polyamorous, and recently we found out that he is also polyamorous, but we are in a monogamous relationship.
You're not polyamorous right now. You're monogamous.
Right. That's so confusing to me. Not knocking on it, just it's a lot for my brain to follow, like how following a family tree and figuring out who's related to what and second cousins and whose grandma's who, and it's a lot for my brain to follow. And when I picture relationship styles and everybody being everything, my brain's trying to follow the branches. It's a lot of information to process, I suppose. I don't care that he thought about someone else or fantasized about being in a relationship with someone else.
Just the fact that he lied about it.
What I cared about was that he lied to me and kept it from me for 2 weeks. Yeah, I would be a little spicy about that too. Was that something he knew about up front? Like he knew that you were okay with polyamory?
Here's something to think about.
What?
Instead of being mad about the fact that he lied, because it's shitty that he lied, the fact that he came clean about it, regardless of how he came clean about it, is it possible that during that 2 weeks that he was lying and that he was just processing what was going on?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing, right? People need time to process shit. I'm not saying that it's right or that it excuses behavior, but that is a very, like, wouldn't the answer have been like, I'm processing, I'll tell you when I'm done?
Right.
Instead of just saying no, everything's fine. But like that's a thing. People have to work through their shit. Nobody can do that for you.
Yeah, that could have definitely been a situation of he caught himself. He was like, why am I thinking like this?
Right.
Why am I feeling this way? Why am I even fantasizing this? And he probably had to really sit down with himself and figure out. I agree. He shouldn't have said, yeah, I'm fine. I told him since day one that she is okay with polyamory. And he did take that 2 weeks to process. Okay. I understand why he did not come to me, and I forgave him for that. One thing I want to say, forgiveness is not just a decision you make once and it's done. It's something you have to be mindful about and have patience for. Right, it is an active choice every day to choose to forgive somebody.
It's no different than being in love.
Right.
That's a choice that you make every day.
After 5 years, you could decide, you know what? I am tired of pretending this is okay. I don't forgive you. I'm done. Because of this, I'm over it. Every time I needed reassurance, I went to my partner, and he thanked me for coming to him instead of pushing him away. At first, I felt like I was back to the moment where we started our relationship. I felt insecure. I felt like I wasn't safe. I felt like I did not know my partner. I never held a grudge for what happened. I never looked through his phone. I chose to heal and work on myself every day, and I was not alone. That's all you can do. You can grow and heal and process and hope that they're doing the same thing and being as honest as you are. People are living choice theory. My partner was there for me through the whole process, and he owned up to his mistakes. In hindsight, I'm grateful for what happened because it helped us become closer in our relationship. I can say we are the type of couple where when things get hard, we become stronger. I also want to say in the last email where I said you guys remind me of my relationship, I meant in how you love each other.
You know that if you break a bone, when it heals stronger than it was before it broke.
Right.
Is that any different?
No.
You found a weakness in your relationship. It was exploited. You figured it out. That weakness isn't there anymore. So by definition, you will be stronger if you work through your shit.
Yeah.
You found new ways to communicate. You got over an obstacle that otherwise you would not have known how to navigate. Like that's normal, healthy brain patterns, in my opinion.
Yeah. I can't remember what it's called, but in Japanese culture, when a glass bowl breaks, they put it back together with gold. So it's more beautiful than it was before.
Never heard that.
Yeah. I see the devotion in your eyes and how you are each other's safe place. Other than that, we are different. My partner and I are in the LGBT plus community. He's an atheist. I am spiritual. I have a lot of religious trauma and don't trust a lot of Christians. But you guys are different. I respect how you refer to yourselves as followers of God, and I love how authentic you both are. I hope these emails help those who need it and give you guys hope, because I know it might seem like there is more bad than good out there.
Dude, I was totally into this entire thing until the whole LGBT thing.
Yeah.
Why do you have to identify yourself with a community?
Well, people identify themselves with the To Be Better community.
They shouldn't, though. I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
Even our community, the To Be Better Nation, that you shouldn't identify yourself by that. You are you. You may have tendencies and likes with other groups of people, but fucking be yourself. Don't label yourself. Don't allow yourself to fucking be confined to groupthink.
Yeah.
I don't like that shit. I understand why people do it.
Right, like the like-minded
I
individuals.
do understand it. People want to be a part of a community. I want to be a part of a community. It's why I created the men's group.
Yeah.
I crave that. But I would never define myself by other people's belief patterns. My thought processes and my growth and my life lessons are fucking mine. Nobody's experienced my life. I have. I don't want to be a label of something else. And I don't want people to label themselves based off of my experiences. I want you to live your life.
Yeah.
I want you to be the happiest motherfucker on the planet and do whatever makes you happy, but be you authentically. Because when you start joining groups and having community think, that's gone. That individuality is no longer there. It's look at feminism. It's the prime example of that. True feminism.
Yeah.
Live your fucking life the way you want to live it. 40 years later, it's live your life the way we want you to live it, because you're a woman and you don't get to do what you want to do anymore. You have to do what we say because we're feminists.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're a slave, you're a gender trader, you're a fucking barefoot pregnant woman that's being abused by a man. There's no way you could possibly be fucking happy living the life that you're living because we're feminists and we say so.
Yeah.
I don't like that shit. I really don't. I don't know. I equate that shit to gang mentality.
Really?
I really do. Like, you can't stand on your own 2 feet. You need an entire fucking group of people behind you to like say it with your chest.
You lived that life, so that's...
I just don't,
I believe you when you say that's
just
good.
don't like that mindset.
Yeah.
I really don't.
I liked the email. I thought it was
It was an
very
amazing
nice. Yeah.
email. It really was. And like, I don't care that you're an atheist. I love you regardless.
Well, she's spiritual. He's
right.
atheist.
Either
yeah.
way. You know what I mean? Like, that shit doesn't faze me. The way that you treat me and treat those around you says a lot about your character, and that's what matters to me.
Right.
So I think that regardless of the labels, this chick's life and our life is very running side by side on tracks.
Yeah.
She's just a whole lot younger and got her shit together a lot faster than I did.
Good for her. Good for them. I love that they're happy.
Same. I also agree with the follower of Christ thing versus the organized religion.
Yeah.
Because I believe that religion aspect comes into that same think tank. You're still part of a hive mind. You're letting other people think for you versus thinking for yourself. We don't do that. We read the Bible and we discuss it, but we take away what we take away from it. And things that we don't understand, we will ask people who have studied the shit longer than us. But if I don't vibe with that, where it doesn't sit right with me, I'm going to pray on it until I figure out the way I'm supposed to feel about it. And when the Spirit's like, this is what I need you to feel, dope.
Yeah.
Kintsugi translates into gold joinery.
Yes.
Zach coming in clutch. Yep.
Do you like the purple?
I do. You asked me that twice already.
I know.
That's the third time I've answered you.
I'm just
The chat likes your purple too. I've been seeing all kinds of comments about how the purple suits your hair.
Yeah.
Somebody said ruby earlier, but it's not ruby. It's more like eggplant.
It's like a violet. I need to
You're
go
turning
through-
violet. Violet?
I need to go through and like clean up the roots on it a little bit. I know. I see you, Willy Wonka. I'm insecure about my look lately. I don't know what it is. Why are you shaking your head at me? Are you frustrated that I'm insecure?
Frustrated is not the right word.
Okay.
I understand the body dysmorphia.
Yeah.
I just wish that I could fucking let you see me or see you the way I see you so that you would stop doing that. I get it because you say the same shit to me all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I fawn over you
I know.
constantly. You catch me looking, I'm like,
Yeah.
it's bad. It's so bad. I whistled at you like
You
double
did.
finger whistled at you in a parking lot today, loud as fuck.
Yeah.
No shame. None.
I turned around and I shook my butt a little bit for you.
None. She said, "Thank you, Chris, for saying that. I'm still learning about who I am as an individual person. I still have a lot to heal from due to being in a broken home. I always craved acceptance, but I'm slowly realizing that acceptance is only important if I accept myself wholeheartedly and not look for that anywhere else. I'm grateful for you reading my email." This falls into that being alone for a year or 2 years and like learning who you are as a person. People that need to be accepted is normal.
Yeah.
It goes into like clan and tribe and like hundreds of thousands of years of humans on the planet living the way that we've lived. That's normal. It's why kids try to make friends with all of the other kids and fit in and like versus just going and doing their own thing. That acceptance is ingrained in our DNA.
Right.
Because without it, we wouldn't thrive. Before societal and before farming, if you were not part of a hunting group, your chances of success in hunting went way the fuck down.
Yeah.
You would literally die if you were not accepted into the group. That's ingrained in who we are. Yep.
You know, something else I did during my healing phase was I got off of a lot of social medias.
Yeah.
Yeah, I stopped scrolling Facebook. I deleted my Instagram. Didn't really have Snapchat. Yeah, I would say I deleted Snapchat up until about 8 or 9 months into my healing phase. And then I re-downloaded it just to talk to family. I had a younger cousin on there who was using it for safe communication purposes, I suppose. Yeah, take a break from social media. Free think for a little bit. Really figure out how you feel about things and not what the masses feel about things.
Yeah. I gotta be honest. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I don't. I worry about your opinion of me. And like, I do. And I take things that you say way harder than I should, especially if it's a criticism, because I need to find out, like, I need to get to the root of it. So like I can figure out if it's something that I'm doing wrong or if it's like a me problem or a you problem in perceiving me. But I don't give a fuck what other people think of me.
Yeah.
I really, truly don't.
I get that. Same.
You're not fucking me, financing me, or feeding me. Your opinion doesn't mean shit.
Yeah. All right, we ready to get into the next one?
Yeah, they just got into the chat.
All right, so this one is called Single Woman Family Issues.
Okay.
25 female, unemployed for 3 years, single, no children. All right, so this person has multiple sclerosis. In multiple sclerosis, the protective coating on the nerve fibers, myelin, is damaged and may eventually be destroyed. Depending on where the nerve damage occurs, MS can affect vision, sensation, coordination, movement, and bladder or bowel control.
I actually have a friend of mine who's a client, and somebody who was one of my clients when I was doing boudoir photography that has MS. And she did her boudoir shoot as her health was really starting to decline. And that, I think, was one of the last, like, I probably shouldn't speak on that anymore. I'm not going to continue that story because I don't know how comfortable she would be with me putting her information out there like that.
Okay.
That's the end of that. I'm sorry. I probably shouldn't have done that. She did a boudoir shoot and her health was starting to decline. That's the end of that story.
Okay.
But I am familiar with MS because of it. How about that? That way I can wrap that up into a nice little bow without telling people's life.
You did great.
Okay.
Disclaimer, in the following email, I did not list any of my faults or contributions to the issue at hand, and I am aware of this. I would like to hear your unbiased opinion about it because I cannot trust myself. I feel that I am to blame or majorly the reason behind what is currently happening because of how I process things. To me, everything is my fault, and I would like to hear an opinion that is not my own.
Okay. Game on.
All right, side note, I am sorry ahead of time for the length of this email. Peaches, please excuse. Patron. Please excuse any punctuation errors on my part. I would also like to thank you guys in advance for taking the time to read and respond to this email in any way possible. I trust you guys to give your honest, truthful opinions and advice. I knew that I could trust you guys solely because of the fact that you are Christians and have tattoos. I don't see many of your representation around, and I appreciate you guys for being you.
There's so many of us.
Yeah.
There's so many
really,
fucking
really
people that are following Christ now that are not part of the church or like organized religion. People that want to have a relationship with God and just do their own thing. Mm-hmm. That's what it's about.
Yeah, it really is. Too many people measure their relationship with God with how often they attend church or how frequently they're doing activities with the church.
Yep.
Let's begin. For the purpose of this email, I will be giving you my problems first and then giving a bit of backstory. All right. 1, in my family, I'm not allowed to express my emotions or feelings. 2, I am constantly used for my free time to run other people's errands. Do you live alone, correct?
Glamourcraft said Jesus flipped tables. Nowhere in the Bible does it say to be a pussy.
All right, so you live alone. Do you pay your own rent? Pay all your own bills? All right, so you said I am constantly used for my free time to run other people's errands. I am choosing to allow people to use me in my free time to run their errands.
Ooh.
You can say no.
Yeah.
You can say, no, I got plans. I'm going to take myself on a date. I'm going to go to a museum. I got something going on. I got to be at Starbucks at 10:30 to have a meeting with myself. I keep putting it off. And then I'm going to go shopping at Bell's. Maybe pick up my favorite Italian dinner. And then I have a show coming on at 8 o'clock. My day's packed. Sorry. If you don't put yourself first, nobody else will.
Let me check my calendar. Nope, it says I don't want to. Sorry.
Yeah. I am somebody who is so unwilling to... I mean, I do help people, but they know they better be asking me because I'm a last resort.
Right.
I am not afraid to say, no, I have a plan to be in a bath for 3 hours later today. I'm not helping you move. No, I'm not going to that store. It's actually 15 minutes out of my way. I'm not doing that. I'm always the first resort in my family. All right, well, time to find out if they have a backup plan. 3, I am unemployed. Did I take care of myself, my siblings, and both bills?
Are you on disability? How are you unemployed and taking care of all of that?
Yeah. And how are you taking care of your siblings if you live alone? Said I do odd jobs here and there. Plus, I crochet for money. It's a big thing at flea markets and stuff. Setting up booths, Etsy. 4, I'm expected to do as I am told with no questions asked or resistance. The glorious thing about being an adult, paying your own bills, is you can now set standards for being in your life. If you are not relying on anybody to help pay your rent, pay your car note, whatever needs to get paid for, you are solely self-sufficient. You really don't have to have a relationship with anybody.
Mm-mm.
It's the dishwasher. I was like, what's singing to me? The dishwasher's done.
I can't even believe you heard that.
Mom ears. Yeah. 6, I am either not allowed to or cannot say no unless it is something minor.
Why are these numbered like this? I don't understand, because I got to be honest, this is all bullshit.
Yeah, all of these are choices. You are allowed to say no. You can say no. You just don't want to deal with the repercussions of the family members when you say no.
Ain't no repercussion. No. And then they say blah, 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 blah. And you're
No.
like, that doesn't change the fact that I said no. And you can blah, blah, blah all you fucking want.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Right.
You want it in Spanish? No. I don't understand what the problem is.
Right.
Ain't no mental attack. You allow that to happen. Somebody, you know how easy it is to hang the phone up?
Walk away.
Or be like, get the fuck off my property?
Mm-hmm.
You think that you treating me poorly is going to make me go, oh no, you're right. I totally want to do that for you.
Right.
No, what that's going to make me do is next time you call, I'm not going to answer the phone because I know that you're going to treat me like shit and try to manipulate me into doing something that I don't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
Seven, my entire life revolves around my family, and they make sure to try and keep it that way. 8, I feel like I have become the scapegoat, and it has really taken its toll on me. 9, I have reached my wit's end, and I have started to feel like my life has no meaning other than to serve my family.
You need to read choice theory.
I agree. Read choice theory.
Why is it that why do you feel like you owe people something? unless you have a kid and it is your duty to keep them alive because you brought them into the world. You take that responsibility on when you decide to have the child.
Right.
You do not owe anyone anything.
No.
If you get married, you owe your partner everything because you said I fucking do and you decided to do that. Beyond that, you don't owe anyone a fucking thing in this world. So she said, because they helped me when I was first unable to work, and sometimes they help me when I really need it. So they help you when you really need it, and you help them all the fucking time. That's not an equal exchange.
I'm going to be honest. If help comes with berating and manipulation, I would rather struggle.
I would too.
Yeah.
I ain't asking nobody for anything. I'm not. The extent of me asking people for shit is me asking my mentor for advice.
Right.
That's it. I won't. I am stubborn. I will put myself in danger. I will harm my body physically doing shit that I shouldn't be able to do because I'm not willing to ask people for something. If somebody really wanted to help you, they'd fucking offer.
Yeah.
People see you struggling and depressed. If they really gave a shit, they would fucking ask and they would try to see what's going on. You know what I mean? Like, I'm good on that. I'm fucking good on that.
I deal with it more for my sister than myself. How old is your sister? She's 27 with a child. Why is your 27-year-old sister and her child your responsibility? So what is the answer to that? You've asked yourself every day. I imagine it's been such a long time. What is your answer to that? She's your older sister, though. What? I feel like it's my responsibility because I've been taking care of her since I was 16.
No. This is a choice. All of this is a decision.
This is all a decision. It is. At any point, she's 27 years old. So not only do you not have your life together, you're now trying to get your life and a 27-year-old older sister's life together with her child because she dropped the ball on herself. That's too much.
Yep.
So are you willing to drown in this life to help somebody else who isn't willing to help themselves? And if she's helping herself, she's doing the thing. You got to focus on yourself a little bit. Okay. So long backstory. Hello, Chris and Peaches. I'm a 25-year-old female with relapsing, remitting multiple sclerosis, and that seems like major boundary issues. And what seems like major boundary issues? I would agree. They are very, you have no boundaries. When I was in my teens, I used to be able to set very sturdy boundaries and hold firm to them. However, since my diagnosis, my family feels like they own me and also that I owe them whatever they ask for. In the beginning, it started off as simple favors here and there, and then has gradually increased over the last 5 years. This all happened after my diagnosis and being told by my doctors that I could no longer work. I am still active and refuse to let this take over my life. However, I now feel that my family is using this to take advantage of my free time during the day. A little background on myself. I am the youngest of 3 girls and also the middle grandchild. From the time that I was able to work, I have always had a job and handled my business. I became money conscious and responsible around the age of 12, whereas other young members of my family did not. When I turned the ripe old age of 13, I began to realize and understand what I wanted for myself as far as relationships go. And I also knew that I wanted to be able to bring to the table. What I wanted to be able to bring to the table. I'm a very traditional and religious person, religious as in daily things that I religiously do. That doesn't make sense to me.
Read it again.
I'm a very traditional and religious person, religious as in daily things that I religiously do. So you mean things that you do pertaining to your religion or things that you religiously do like OCD?
Right. Yeah, it's 2 different things.
Like how I start and finish my day more like OCD. Okay. Around this time, I received the same list of achievements as the other grandchildren in my family. This is a list that, upon different parts of completion, you would be able to obtain a certain reward. I am the only one who has completed the entire list, minus the marriage. Yes, I know it sounds weird, but this is just how my grandparents work. Taking a cry break while writing this. I am sorry you had to take a cry break. This list was the start of the mental internalization of my everyday life. When I turned 17, I started getting verbally traumatized by my eldest sibling. That made me doubt myself and everything that I do. This was also the first time I had experienced depression. Because of this, I taught myself to keep my head down and continue to do as I was told, exactly as I was told to do it. I was groomed from a young age to not question my elders whenever they told me to do something, no questions asked. At 25, I am currently still struggling to stop doing this. Yes, I have currently started saying no to my family, and this has opened up Pandora's freckling box.
Can we pause for a minute? I'm hung up on the whole grooming to not say no to my elders.
Okay.
There's a difference between being taught to respect your elders and not having a fucking backbone.
Right.
I still respect elders. I try to watch my language around old women.
Yeah.
I was raised that you don't do shit like that. If you don't say it in front of your grandma, you don't say shit in front of other old women. Like you respect your elders. But there's a difference between that level of respect and people using you because you allow them to treat you like a doormat.
Right.
So how were you groomed to not say no to your elders?
Right. Was it like any type of, they demanded you to do something, you would say no, and it's, you
And
have
then
to
they would
respect
beat
your
the life
elders?
out of you until you fucking like agreed. I don't. Because I got to be honest, I wasn't allowed to say no.
Right.
When my parents or my grandparents told me they weren't asking me. This wasn't a request, motherfucker. Go do it.
Right.
I spent summers digging ditches to install sprinkler systems on a fucking 20-acre farm. I put up fences around that property. I cleared that property. Took up roots with a fucking axe, a pickaxe, and a pickup truck. Like, was literally worked like a slave. No money, no pay. Didn't get to eat when I want to. Didn't get to take breaks when I wanted to because the shit had to get done. I couldn't say no.
Right.
But I'll be damned if somebody's going to force me to do something I don't want to do as an adult. And yes, physical punishment was effective. I mean, I've had my nose broken. But anyways, abuse happens.
Right.
I guess this comes down to cognitive bias. And if you had twins that lived in the same house, one would grow up being one way and one would grow up another way. I just don't understand that thought process. I don't get it. I really don't.
This is one of those situations where you have to recognize that you are no longer living in that fight or flight, survival, or get your ass beat situation. You lay your head down in your bed in your home, away from your family, and you're struggling to survive because they're leeching off of you.
You know, there really is a freedom to not being dependent on anyone.
Yeah, there really is.
And I understand in this scenario, MS is very prevalent. I also know that MS is heightened due to stress.
Yeah. And that's all they're doing to her.
But I know that with all of my abuse and everything that I've gone through in my fucking life, I do not depend on anyone. And I do what the fuck I want to do. So there's to that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to allow somebody else to dictate my life. If I don't want to do something, you can't make me do it. You cannot fucking make me do anything that I don't want to do. You just can't.
Right.
Anyways.
All right. At 25, I am struggling to stop doing this. Yes, I have currently started saying no to my family, and this has opened a Pandora's freckling box. When I started standing up for myself and putting a limit on how much I am willing to help out, I was labeled as selfish.
Good. Be selfish.
I would. My peace and my mental fortitude and my day-to-day life is much more important than the harmful things that my family can say to me.
Yeah.
And I can't hear those things when your number is blocked.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
When they recognize that manipulation no longer has a hold on you, they're going to start berating and verbally abusing and trying to pull you back in,
Yeah.
break down the defenses you're trying to put up. You can talk to a error code.
Yeah, I'm good on that.
Number no longer in service. Now I'm starting to get guilt tripped into doing things. This happens every single time now. If I say no or do not offer help when my family does not want to talk to me, then my family does not want to talk to me. I bet it's so peaceful and quiet when they don't talk to you. You can do whatever you want during the day. They're not trying to bother you and make you do things.
Someone just said something in the chat, and I really try not to chime in on the chat, but I'm going to.
Okay.
She said, I wonder if she's afraid of the MS making her completely dependent on the family later. because that's a very real fear. That is something that would be a concern.
She said, I was very dependent at first, but now it's reversed. Girl, you were dependent and now you're living life on your own and you're 25. In 5 years, you're going to be 30, right? In 5 years, you can still be struggling, paycheck to paycheck, asking to borrow money, under your family's thumb, or you could be thriving, living the life you want to live, being an inspiration to other people with MS, showing them that it is possible to be independent and live your life despite the things that are happening to you. And some days can be bad, and some days you don't want to get out of bed, and some days you're going to kick life's ass. However, if or when I need someone to talk or vent to, I receive the following comments. 1, I don't care. 2, get over it. 3, not right now. 4, who cares? 5, stop talking. 6, be quiet. 7, where's the violin? 8, talk about something else. 9, I'm not about to make time for this. 10, that's fine and all, but I need you to do this for me. So they treat you like that, and then they ask you to do something, and you're like, yeah, okay. Be there in 15. When I started calling people on the way that they spoke to me, they recognized real quick that they're an asshole. I had somebody hit me once with, if you care. Why would you say that? Why would you say, if I care? It's obvious I care. Why did you feel the need to? Oh, I guess I misspoke. No, explain yourself.
I didn't misspeak. You're trying to manipulate me.
Right. Explain yourself. Enlighten me. Why do you feel the need to say something like that? These are just a few of the things said whenever I attempt to open up to my family. Each and every time I try and express my feelings or communicate, I get shut down. On the other hand, I am not allowed to not be there for my family when they need me. I'm constantly told that it is because I am reliable, dependable, and responsible. It's not. It's because you do whatever they say, and
Because they can manipulate you.
it's because they can manipulate you.
And you allow it to happen.
That is that, atta girl, you're doing it. It's because you're reliable. No, it's because you've never said no, and when you do say no and they kind of talk down to you, you accept it and then continue to do what they want you to do. And that's really shitty to say out loud, and that's a really shitty thing to hear. Outside perspective, that is what it seems like. I do believe that you are reliable and dependable and responsible.
I also believe you're a fucking doormat.
I agree with that.
Because you're allowing it to happen.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. I understand that people have history and they want to people please and they want their family to be a part of their life and everyone has their own motive to do shit. But at some point you have to look at your life and go, I'm done being toilet paper for everyone else's asshole. Like,
right.
At what point do you just not go, this isn't how I want to live my life. I'm not fucking doing this anymore. Mm-hmm. This isn't there's no benefit to me in any of this.
Life is supposed to be enjoyable.
Right.
It's supposed to be filled with experiences that make you happy. And at the end of the day, you can look back and say, yeah, today was a good day. When was the last time you laid in bed and looked back at your day and said, today was a perfect day? Like today, even though there were some hiccups, there were little things little bumps in the road. Today was a really good fucking day. This makes me sad. It makes me sad that somebody is living this.
Yeah.
She said it's been almost a year since she's laid down and said, I've had a good day. I think the first thing that you need to do is this week sit down and dedicate a day to yourself. I would send out a good morning text message, like if you guys are in a group chat. Good morning, everybody.
sunshine emoji, and then I'd turn off the phone for the rest of the day. Uncontactable. The likelihood of an emergency happening is very slim. They might create one to get your attention. I would put that on Do Not Disturb, and I would have a single day to do everything I enjoy. I would take a bath. I would go for a walk. I might go to the beach for the sunset. I did that, and they showed up at my front door.
Because you got no boundaries.
People know not to show up here.
Especially unannounced.
Yeah.
People know that so much so that when Steve comes to the house, the guy that does our barbecue, he's like, hey, I'm pulling onto your street. If you see a truck parked in front of your house, it's me. Don't open fire.
Yeah.
Don't fuck around with that shit. I live in the middle of nowhere for a fucking reason.
Yeah. Family knows, they give a heads up. No surprised visits. I would ignore the door.
No, I wouldn't. I'd open the door and be, the fuck do you want?
Yeah.
Oh, I just wanted to say hi. Go say that shit on the telephone. Get the fuck off my property.
Yeah.
Don't ever show up here unannounced. Could be having comfort time in a hot tub.
Yeah.
Or fucking on my couch. You could be interrupting that right now.
Have some consideration for my life. Don't just show up.
Yep. You think that you showing up unannounced is somehow going to make my day better? If I wanted you here, I would have invited you.
Right.
Did you get an invitation? No, it's because I don't want you on my property.
She said I've had to literally call the police before. This is disgusting. What a disgusting family dynamic.
Is there a lot left to this?
Yes.
Okay, let's keep going.
Because of this, I have to suck it up and continue to handle my business and theirs. Also, I'm thinking I'm going to do Chili's for dinner. I want some Texas cheese fries. My guidelines are to stay available even when sick, don't ask too many questions, and get the job done. So you're a slave.
Yep.
You're not getting paid for this. They help you every once in a while. You don't get sick days. You don't get to ask any questions. You have to get the job done. And if you don't, you get beaten. Or you get verbally berated. There is some form of abuse happening. This is absolutely insane to me. Most days I feel more like a slave to my family rather than a family member. We have good family fun moments, but to me, the demand for my time and energy far outweigh those good moments.
I've said this shit over and over again. Having a DNA bond with somebody doesn't make them your family.
It means absolutely nothing.
Yeah, that's it. Zach said the last email of the night's on the drive.
Okay. In my mind, my family dependability on me is one of the main reasons why I have not found my spouse yet, or vice versa. Oh, I agree 100%. I don't think there is a man on the planet who would tolerate this behavior from your family.
I wouldn't tolerate that behavior from my woman. If we were dating and I was seeing that behavior from your family to you, I would leave.
Yeah.
I have too much going on in my life to deal with somebody that isn't on my level of independence.
Right.
I'm good. I need a teammate, not the entire fucking baseball team. I'm good.
I have no friends and have never had a boyfriend because it is hard to find the time for anyone outside of my family. Instead of going out, I choose to stay at home and solitary in order to do my best at avoiding my family. During my days of solitude, I have trained myself on how to take care of my household for whenever I do get married. Instead of taking care of just one household, I am now maintaining 3 other households, one by choice, one for work, and I don't know about the other one. I am feeling very sad. Like my heart's breaking a little bit. You just said that you have trained yourself on how to take care of your household for whenever you do get married. The possibility of you getting married, if you change nothing about your life, you are preparing for nothing. You might find somebody who will marry you. They might take advantage of you. They see that your family does it, so they're going to take advantage of you. You might get involved with a very shitty person.
Likelihood for abuse.
Oh my God. You have so many things that you need to change and so many things that you need to work on and set in place and actually stand behind before you are going to find what you are actually looking for in a relationship. Outside of this, most of the money that I have made on the side goes to bills and taking care of my siblings. Whenever I tell my family that I need a personal day for myself, I am met with, "You don't have a job, so why do you need a personal day?" Or my favorite, "All you do is sit around the house all day doing nothing but crocheting or knitting."
Be like, that's what I try to do, but you fuckers won't leave me alone.
Right. She said, "Also, that is how I make money for myself, the knitting and the crocheting."
It's okay. It's okay to be a drug dealer. If that's what you're doing, that's fine. I ain't judging you.
Right.
I have a lot of respect for dope boys. Mm-hmm. So there's to that. I don't know what you're smirking at. I got more respect for people. Okay.
It's just how you're sitting right now. I like how your body looks. Your eye candy.
I'm trying to be as comfortable in this uncomfortable situation as I can be.
I get that. Family backstory. My mother is more the enforcer, and she does her best to make sure that my family respects my wishes, even when it comes to her. My mom is the only one that does not guilt trip or shame me into doing anything that I don't want to do.
But?
No but. She is the only person who always asks me how I am feeling and if I need to talk. However, she is not always available when I truly need to communicate with someone. She has her days where she can be a problem, but the difference is that I can call her on her bullshit and she will fix it.
Right. So you have a healthy relationship with your mother and no one else in the family.
My grandfather has started to help me tremendously with my financial bills by allowing me to work odd jobs here and there. He is always there when I need him, and for that reason, I do not help minding him whenever he asks for it, which is seldom. On the other hand, my grandmother's contributions come with entitlement attached to it.
Ooh, I'm going to dangle this over your head.
Whenever she helps me out, she feels I owe her whatever she wants, whenever she wants.
Yeah, I'm good on that. I'd rather not have the help.
Yeah, I was about to say, I would just not accept help from Grandma.
You can keep that shit.
Yeah, I'd be like, I'll come and talk to you and we can like have crumpets and tea, but I'm not taking anything from you.
No, we can't even do that.
Whenever she helps me out, she feels I owe her. If I choose to not help her, then she won't stop ranting about what she's done for me in the past and also what she does for me currently.
Right. So you're doing it because you know that you can manipulate it in the future. You're not doing it out of love.
Right.
You're not doing it to help. Mm-hmm. Because if you're doing it to help, I would never fucking hear about it again. It wouldn't be, you remember that one time I did this for you? That's not how that goes.
No, it's not. We have until 10:30 to order our food.
Well, if you want to order your food now, you can. I'm not going to eat anything.
Okay.
I'm going to eat the rest of that pie you made yesterday. I'm going to be a fat fuck for the rest of the night because of it. I'm probably going to have a protein cookie too.
Yeah. I'm glad you enjoyed that pie. I was worried it came out not as good because the apples were not as ripe as the ones I use. What do you?
I'm going to eat Peach's cobbler. That was clever, right?
Wow.
That was good, right? That was clever.
That was really,
Was that as good as the beautiful thing that I did this morning? Beautiful?
it's on par. I can't, like, I feel, I don't know.
Are you trying to peacock?
A lot's happening in me right now. My body's confused. I don't know how to speak. I'm salivating. I'm gonna get dessert. All right, it's going to take about 40 minutes. I think that's a good enough time. Boink. Okay. So here's the difference. Grandfather. I ask for money with no work attached to it, and I get a 45-minute to 1 hour lecture on whatever topic he chooses. He will also ask me where all of my money is going, which he knows, and it makes him angry.
You know, you wouldn't have to ask him for money if you stopped giving it to your family.
Why would he be angry about where your money's going to?
Why aren't they asking him for money instead of asking you for money? Because now you have to ask him for money. Why is this vicious? This is a vicious cycle.
This is a very vicious cycle. This is a life-ruining cycle. He's angry because nobody has the balls to talk to him. Okay. Grandmother, I will inform her that I'm going to the store and see if she needs anything. She will send me a list and then expect me to pay for it about 65% of the time. Do you live with Grandma?
She lives by herself. That's what she said. She lives on her own.
I'm not paying for Grandma's groceries. I'm barely getting by. I just asked Grandpa for money. Grandma, this wasn't for your groceries. This is for my groceries. I would stop asking Grandma. I do not mind buying the small stuff, which I've explained to her. However, she has a victim mentality and feels that I only treat her like this and not anyone else. I don't pay for anybody else's groceries. She will start crying in any situation, and I hate it when people cry because it makes me uncomfortable. After the waterworks begins, the insults, degrading, and manipulation set in. She does not stop until I give in or hang up. I would just hang up every time then. If that gets her to stop. All right, talk to you in about 5 minutes, Grandma. Call you back. Are you done? We're going to have a conversation now, or are we still SeaWorld in it? Sister, I do not have a job, which everyone else is aware of, and whatever money that I have coming in mainly goes to pay my sister's bills and money for her to eat out. She refuses to cook and get a physical job. I'm sorry, you're working to feed your sister?
Can we skim? Because at this point, she's just being manipulated by literally everyone and she's allowing it to happen. There's nothing in there that's changed from person to person to person. She's literally letting this happen to her.
Okay, so there's like 4 pages left.
Okay. I'm going to go pee.
Okay.
I need you to skim.
Okay.
Because if it's more of the same, there's nothing else that we need. You need to grow a backbone.
Yeah.
Your life does not say welcome. You are not a fucking doormat. And unless you're willing to change that, your life is going to continue to be this way.
Right.
I have to pee. You have the camera. There you go.
Oh gosh. Okay.
You have the comm. XO, you have the comm.
I don't know what any of that means. I wonder how many people are in the chat. I can't see. I love that you guys are here. I hope that you guys are gaining something and that the emailers feel like they're getting the information they've been seeking. This life makes me sad. The life of this emailer. This is a life that I've experienced, and it is one that is soul crushing, and it is one that you will lose yourself, and you're going to wake up when you're 45 and go, where the fuck did my life go? You have dreams and aspirations. And you get one life to live those dreams and aspirations. Nobody is going to make those happen besides you. I mean, your family very clearly has shown you that they don't care about your life. So if nobody else is going to give a fuck, why wouldn't you?
Oh, I was like, why are you guys saying 323? Is that supposed to mean something to me? Crazy.
You know how fucking far it is from our bathroom to this bedroom?
Oh my God, yeah.
I just counted it. It's 50 paces.
It's like walking through Middle Earth.
Yeah, there's a distance. Like if we had to like do a duel,
Yeah. Oh my
we
gosh.
got some fucking range in there.
We could, if there was a straight shot. We'd have to get those magical bending bullets that people talk about when they talk about JFK. You don't have to pack up and move. You can stay right where you're at and start setting boundaries.
You want to hear something funny? It's not really funny. Your little is so fucking cute to me.
Is it?
Because it's always like petty smoke. It's never like, you're not really fanning it. It's just like petty.
It's trying to like, if I'm scooping.
I want to let you know that you got that old man high as fuck today.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no. How could you tell?
Because his entire demeanor changed after that. He was like kind of chatty when we got there, and you blew that big ass cloud in his face, and he was like, I had to keep walking away from him. Like, dude, shut the fuck up.
Oh man.
It's a good experience. He will definitely fail a drug test tomorrow.
Oopsie doodles. It was hot.
It was.
And I was uncomfortable. All right, so we're skipping ahead. Now for the reason that I am truly here after that extremely long backwards way of some type of backstory. Sorry if that did not make any sense. I am a traditional woman as far as the household goes. I went through a series in my life after turning 19 where I trained myself on how to take care of a household. I can bake, cook, sew. It's not sue. It says sue, but it's pronounced sew. And alter furniture, crochet, knit, hobby, and a business. Clean, mow the lawn, tend to the hedges and gardens, fruits and veggies. I knew from a young age that I wanted a traditional marriage, and for those reasons, I learned how to take care of myself, the household, and both parts of the household. I love that you're single right now. With the mindset that you're living in and the vicious cycle that you're living in, a lot of men could take advantage of you. And that is absolutely horrifying to me. Because you are what men are seeking. And there are a lot of very toxic men out there who want what you are having for sale. And you don't have high standards right now.
Right.
There is a very low admission.
Low-hanging fruit.
Very low admission to get access to this fair. All right. However, I still have never been in a relationship and I have no friends. I truly believe that God works in his own divine timing and I'm a very patient person. I love that. I love that you're patient. I feel that because of the fact that my family takes advantage of me and the fact that I cannot work, I will probably never be able to explore what it is like to actually live life.
That's a choice.
It is a choice. And you are correct. Because of this, you will never be able to explore and live life. Mm-hmm. I have cut everything out of my life because of how my family has reacted to me wanting to do anything. For them, I am unable to do these things due to my MS. But for me, I'm aware of my body and what it needs. My family wants me to be okay with not doing things on my own. However, the first time that we actually did something that I wanted to do, everyone was glued to their devices and not paying attention, even on my birthday. I hate a lot of today's culture and just what's okay in society. I'm uncomfortable sitting on my phone at a dinner table.
I am too.
It makes me feel uncomfortable knowing that I'm depriving my attention from people in my present life to be on my phone. I really view my phone as I can use it to call somebody. I can use it for research. I'm really not scrolling Facebook. I've deleted Facebook, the app, off of my phone. I have Instagram for the podcast, and that's it. I have TikTok to post TikToks. I really don't use my phone for anything pleasurable anymore unless we're lounging on the couch for 30 minutes before bed. It's not an escape for me anymore.
No, it's become reality for most people.
Yeah. This is something that I've gotten so accustomed to that I just ball myself into a corner in my mind and instead do whatever activities bring my family joy. I'd leave. I would just leave. I'd be like, okay, like, this is my birthday. This is what I wanted to do. You guys don't want to be a part of it. You can go get McFlurries and do whatever. I'm going to go do the thing I wanted to do and enjoy myself and have a good time. I have a blast by myself. I'm living in my own world constantly. I looked at you today and I was like, babe, I'm super excited about something. And you were like, what is it? And I was like, I have my vape in my hair. And I was super stoked. It was stupid, but I'm like, hell yeah. No pockets, improvising.
Where'd your vape end up, babe?
In your pocket.
Yeah, imagine that.
My hair fell out and it wasn't doing the thing.
Where'd your lens cap end up?
In your pocket.
Yeah.
It was not a very pocket.
I like the outfit, though.
It was a very nice. I knew that's the booty.
Oh, I know.
That's why I wore it for you. Not good on the pocket department, though.
No, it's not.
I should get a fanny pack.
No, the fuck you shouldn't. No, you shouldn't.
Okay.
That is not the answer to that outfit.
Okay. Then you need cargo shorts.
I have cargo shorts.
We're just learning a bunch of things. We need cargo shorts. We need bug spray.
We do need bug spray.
I'm making that.
I would rather get kicked in the nuts than have to deal with mosquitoes.
Yeah.
I said this shit earlier, and I know that I was going through it because I was getting eaten alive by mosquitoes, but I meant that shit.
Yeah.
Like, if I could take a quick, swift kick to the balls and never have to get bit by mosquitoes again, I'm trading that. Like, let's do that. Yep.
Yeah. I would take someone punching me in the face and getting a bloody nose. If I never have to experience mosquitoes again, get it.
Jordan, no, you're not. Stop it. We're not fucking doing fanny packs. I actually have a fanny pack in the closet. I have an Oakley bag that I use whenever I travel and I'm carrying money because it's easier to tuck the money in my crotch than it is to keep it in my pocket.
Right. I'm going to be honest. Like, you have your 100,000 reward for your like hard work into this, right? And I was like, what do I want to do? We're going to hit 100,000. I was like, I don't really want plants. I was looking at the Louis app and they have fanny packs. And knowing that you're not for the fanny pack, I now have to reevaluate.
Thank fucking God.
What I would like to do as a little treat for 100,000. Why are you looking at me like that? All right. So everyone was glued to their phone. This is something I've got accustomed to. Yeah, I would just leave and go do the things I enjoy doing. I used to think that I was just as important as everyone else, but now I no longer feel that way, and it really sucks. And what sucks even more is that it will probably never change. Your family is not going to magically start treating you the way that you want them to treat you. At some point, you're going to have to let go of the fact that they failed you so hard in your childhood. They're failing you now as an adult. Sometimes it's okay to take a hiatus from people. Unavailable for the next 20 business days.
Unavailable until you learn to respect my fucking boundaries.
Yeah. Final conclusion, I'm at a crossroads because I know that if I cut off my family, I will have no support regardless of what they give now financially. I'm already looking to defy my body and my doctor so that I can get a physical job to generate a constant revenue and make do for myself. I guess my question is, how do I continue to live in my current conditions without having a mental breakdown and trying to move forward with my life?
How is this working for you now? Do you feel like you're having mental breakdowns on a regular basis? Because I got to be honest, this doesn't sound like a quality life.
This sounds absolutely terrible.
Um, I would, okay, this is going to sound really shitty. And I used to be a very, very manipulative person. Like, I knew how to get things to go my way, and I knew how to play the game, and I did the shit. I was a very shitty human being. In this situation, you might have to play the game a little bit. You might have to cater to grandma sometimes. You know, the sister, I have to think about the sister. I would do it in with the mom. Mom is kind of backing you up a little bit. You have mom on your side. Get in good with mom. That way, you know, maybe turn mom on to the To Be Better stuff. Start sending her little clips that she can relate to. Things that make her go, oh, damn, you know what? Yeah, that is, my husband does that to me. And how can I address that? And then continue on with that. Just, I'm spitballing. I really don't know how to handle the situation.
She needs to grow a backbone. That's how you handle the situation. You cut them the fuck off until they learn to respect the boundaries.
Right. She has medical conditions, though.
Right. So she can start applying for disability and start working to try to find ways around that shit.
So mom does watch. She's the one who told her to email. Mom, you need to get your shit together and back your daughter up a little bit and support her in living her own life. Your daughter, if your mom ever hears this, Mom, you need to hear me. Your daughter is wasting her life in a life where she's already been kind of dealt a really shitty hand.
Yeah. You think?
So not only is she having herself limited due to a medical condition, now it's limited because of you and the rest of your family.
Yep.
Literally making her ill. Literally contributing to the illness that she has. As a mom, I could never imagine treating either of my children this way. I couldn't. I want to see them grow and prosper and hear about the dope things they do in their life. As a mom, this is unacceptable behavior. From one mom to another, you're fucking up as a mom. She goes on to say that she loves all of our content and she's been watched all of our videos. And she said it's been about a year since she's done any self-care. She was answering a question from a live back in June, or on June 7th. That was this month. May, June 6th?
Yeah. It's June.
This email made me sad.
Yeah. Let's move on to the next one.
And it's not your fault. It's not the emailer's fault that I am sad. Just knowing that there is such a lack of respect from your family towards you and a lack of self-worth in yourself. Just knowing that this is a life that somebody's experiencing makes me sad. You deserve so much better out of everything you're getting. All right, next email. Single woman family issues. Did I just read this? Single woman family issues. They're titled, okay. You want me to just start reading?
Yeah.
All right. So this one is actually, should I stay or should I go?
Should I stay or should I go?
Dun, 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 dun. All right, so there's a 20-year-old woman, owner of my own cleaning company and maid,
How old?
20,
Okay.
has been with significant other for 2 years.
Is this
They have known each other for 2 years, been together for a year and 10 months.
is this like an actual business or just a side hustle? Because that matters. Like, are you like a sole proprietor, LLC, like actual business license paying taxes, or are you hustling for cash?
So they've known each other for 2 years, and they've been together for a year and 10 months. So they started dating 2 months after meeting each other.
Okay.
They got into a relationship.
Actual business, incorporated.
They have traditional relationship, pink job, blue jobs.
Dope.
He is a 24-year-old male. He is a electromechanic. No children.
Wait, what is an electromechanic? Does he fix electric cars? Or does he do like wiring?
I have no
What does that mean?
Dun, 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 dun.
You ever seen How High with Method Man and Redman?
No.
Oh. What? Really? Miss Stoner over there? You've never seen How High?
No, I've never
No.
seen him.
There's a scene where he puts a speaker on the bed next to Redman and lights a blunt and is like doing this to the beat. And that's all I can think of with the microphone. To Ramstein. Do hast, man.
Oh, I know that song.
Yeah. Repairs big trash bins and industrial work. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Learning new shit. Love learning new
Look
shit.
at that. All right, so they live together. He has a child with another woman that he doesn't want to have the full responsibility of yet. Okay. I don't know if holding it in makes the high any different. It was something I was told, I don't know, like 5 or 6 years ago. If you hold it in, it gets you more high. I've been doing it ever since, and now I can't stop.
You're supposed to.
Yeah? Fantastic. I'm not stupid. Hi, first of all, thank you. I appreciate your time and your experience. You truly make a difference in people's lives.
Zach said as soon as he saw me doing that with the mic, he knew what was going on.
Yeah. Trying to translate. Is English not your first language? Oh. English is not my first language. All right. She is from different language. I'm taking the time to write this email because separation is not an option for you, and I would like to know what is like, considering my first thought is to leave the relationship every time there is a big argument between my partner and I.
Are you married? Or are you dating?
Boyfriend.
Okay, there's a difference.
Correct. Oh, I love French. French is one of my favorite languages to listen to. My boyfriend watches your TikToks and showed me your videos 2 months ago. Context, we are not married, but I consider this a serious relationship. I am 20, he is 24, and we've been together for 2 years. We met 2 months before I moved in with him. Okay. We live by traditional values for the tasks in our apartment. He works as an electromechanic, and I've built my own company doing residential and commercial cleaning. Do you hate cleaning your own house?
Yes,
Like,
I do.
because you're cleaning everybody else's? Oh, okay. So it's just, hell yeah. I love that you're doing things that you love. That's fantastic. He and his dad, who is 60, have the best relationship. And her mom, I think you meant his mom, who is 50-something, only texts him for a Netflix password. He eventually blocked her. I have a close relationship with all my direct family. I am a family person. My parents were divorced when I was 11 months old. After 2 years of being in a relationship, and my parents cheated on each other. So my education on relationships was not the best because neither my parents nor grandparents were ever happy with each other. Sounds terrible. Whenever I asked my mom, who is 40, my dad is 49, if a situation in my relationship was acceptable, she was saying that there was always other fishes in the sea, never problem solving. Ooh.
Yep.
I heard that a lot too.
Found the problem.
I heard that a lot
Throw
too.
it away. Throw it away and get a new one. You don't need to fix it.
Yeah. That was detrimental advice to my relationships. I had that mindset of, okay, they're right. Yeah. Detrimental advice. I kind of had to untangle the opinions and the experiences of my peers to know which reverberates with me and makes more sense. English isn't even her first language, and she speaks better than, I would say, 85% of Americans. However, I have been learning in seminars about personal growth, accountability, and responsibility since I was 8. I was aggressive, impatient, and short-tempered until I was 17, but now I'm a very relaxed, open-minded person. I laugh easily and all the time, and I'm very patient. The problem that I'm trying to know if it is too much to stay is my boyfriend can be aggressive verbally, impatient, disrespectful, and calling me names once or twice a week.
Okay, so that's called abuse.
Correct.
Call it what it is. Don't sugarcoat the shit. If you're being abused, you're being abused.
And it happened in front of his friends.
And everybody was okay with it?
Yeah, I'm kind of flabbergasted. He's the most patient and loving when he smokes weed, microdoses shrooms, and drinks alcohol.
So he has to mask everything. Mm-hmm. Okay?
Not necessarily all at the same time.
Well, that's good because you're not supposed to drink and take mushrooms.
No, they called him on it.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Guys, if there are men in the chat right now and you guys hear, or any men listening, if you hear a man disrespecting his woman and you don't say shit, you're a hoe.
You're a pussy, yeah.
Yep, I stand by that. I'll call the motherfucker. I don't care if you're my best friend and I don't know this woman. If you're being disrespectful to your woman in public, I'm going to fucking say something to you about that shit.
Yeah. So he doesn't know how to process his emotions.
No, not at all.
He doesn't face anything.
And he's masking.
And I bet he doesn't even truly know what it means for him to feel angry about something or to feel frustrated about something. I bet frustration is just anger to him.
Yeah, I don't know. That I'm hung up on the abuse aspect of all of this.
Yeah.
That's not an okay scenario.
It's not.
And it's one of those things that if you allow it to happen and it gets worse, then it could become physical. Mm-hmm. And I got to be honest, this is a me thing. I believe psychological abuse is way worse than physical abuse. I sent that a minute ago. That's not relevant.
Oh no, my
to
food's
right
on
now.
the way.
Okay. I don't know. I don't. Early on, people overlook a lot of things that are indicators of like, hey, this is not okay. And knowing that 1 in 3 people in a relationship are in an abusive relationship, like
1 in 3.
1 in 3.
1 in 3.
Yep.
I am so glad knowing that every single time it is not us.
Yep.
And I can say that with my chest. Knowing that it's 1 in 3.
1 in 3. Those are the statistics.
Do you know how many couples are sitting in a restaurant when we walk in there?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yep.
Oh, wow. I was not ready for that. Oh, my tinnitus. Okay. All right. Is the front porch on?
Yeah, the light's on. I turned it on when I went to the bathroom.
Thank you.
We went from over 500 people watching down to like bouncing between 290 and 300.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's impatient when he is stressed out. He puts the stress onto me, and it's like walking on eggshells. He goes from 0 to 100 in seconds. I have to remind him often that I'm not the enemy, that I'm here for him, and that I'm his partner. He is not diagnosed with anything, but he was put in a center for months when he was 16 and came back after months as an angel, apparently. Oh, and came back after months as an angel. When I do something that is not necessarily my fault, because when he thinks something's happened, He becomes sure of it and becomes frustrated because of it. He doesn't know how to control himself. He doesn't know how to process logically. That's a miserable situation to be in. To be on the receiving end of that. In the beginning, it was really more intense, like every day. But he was motivated to work on himself, and he's trying to be more respectful and to not call me names. It has been very nice to be with him for months now, but still not marryable or marriage material.
Well, there's your answer right there.
Yeah.
Real shit, like aside from all of the horrible shit, if you sent an email and you started the email with, I'm in a relationship and I don't think that he's marriage material, my answer to you is to move on.
Yeah.
Period. Why waste time with somebody that you are not going to spend the rest of your life with? And now knowing that you're being abused on top of it, and that this abuse could technically get a whole lot worse to the point that there could be life-threatening situations in the event that he gets drunk and gets angry, because we see that a lot over here in the U.S. Like, I'm good on this. This is, I don't know.
He has never been aggressive physically, and I don't believe he will. I'm pretty sure that's a red flag statement. Like, women who help other women in domestic violence situations, that's like a red flag statement.
Yeah. Somebody in the chat said there's 304 people watching this, which means 101 of them are in abusive relationships.
Ooh, that makes me uncomfortable.
And Zach said probably more, considering people are looking for help, makes them
Yeah.
more likely.
Fuck.
Yep.
I hope all of you guys find happiness one day. He is a gentle, sweet, thoughtful, and loving man 80% of the time. We share the same values and we are passionate people. Even in moments where you are absolutely pissed off, angry at me, you are still compassionate to me.
Yeah, because I love you, and I'm not trying to ever make you view me in a negative light.
Right.
You know that I can be that motherfucker.
Right.
But you know that I will never be that motherfucker to you. That's all there is to that. You are my partner. The only time you will ever see that side of me is in defense of you and the children. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Even in a non-defense scenario, I'm getting you guys the fuck out of there. We're leaving. Did your food approach?
No, not yet.
Okay. I thought I just heard somebody knock on the door. Somebody in the chat said it's not, if it were only that easy to just move on after so long. Nobody said it was going to be easy.
It's never
Life's
easy.
not easy. Change isn't easy, but it's fucking worth doing.
Yeah, sometimes the best option for you is going to be the hardest thing to do or the most difficult thing to do.
Nothing worth doing is easy.
Yeah.
If everything was easy, everyone would do it.
That's right. If it was easy, everybody would do it. You just have to figure out which one you're willing to do. I would rather have a future that I've envisioned for myself where I'm happy and I feel loved.
Right. But it takes work to get there.
Yeah, it does. And I did that work and I would do it all over again. I would definitely do it all over again. We share the same values and we are very passionate people. I think it's approaching.
All right.
Or what is this? No, it's not. They just said, before you dig in, snap a photo of your food. Why do you feel the need to tell me that, DoorDash? He is very often open to better his communication, his behavior, and himself. I believe he's going to be calmer and less aggressive because his dad, who is his biggest model, who was just like him and is now calm and sweet. His dad's like that because his dad chose to be a calm and sweet person.
Right.
It's
a fucking choice.
It is. His dad didn't wake up one day and go, I am no longer an angry person.
Have you seen that meme that says, no one understands the amount of violence that it took to become this gentle? That's my fucking life.
Yeah.
It's a choice. I have gone through horrible fucking life experiences to become the man that I am. But I made the decision to do it instead of fucking following and like that previous path. Is it approaching now?
Yes, now it is.
There, you
Oh my
got the camera.
gosh. Okay.
You can keep reading. I'll go grab your food.
Okay, thank you. I do believe that he can become a calm and sweet and gentle person. He has to work on it though. He has to learn how to manage his anger and how to lengthen his fuse. Being short-tempered is an excuse. He needs to really, really put in the work on himself if he wants to be that calm and gentle and passionate person in those moments of disruptions or moments of tension and frustration. His brother, who is 34, is a big role model to him too. He has been with his wife for 10 years, together for 14, and have 2 kids together.
You getting it on camera or you leave it on the counter?
You can leave it on the counter. Thank you. In my opinion, he has a great environment to be better. I just don't know if you think that is worth staying. What would make this worth staying for me is seeing him actively changing. So in the moment, if he is frustrated about something and you catch him and you go, "Hey babe, you're frustrated and you're kind of taking it out on me a little bit." In that moment, his only reaction should be, "Babe, I'm so sorry. You're right. I am frustrated. Give me a couple of minutes. Let me calm down. I love you." That should be his only reaction if he is truly dedicated to working on himself and being a better man for you. That is what would be worth staying for. Knowing that this is his environment, he could have this environment and still be a total fuckface. It is all about the work he's willing to do.
For you guys who are still with us, if you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel yet, please do so. We are on the last stretch to 100,000. We're at 90,000 subs, 90.5.
We're so close.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
90.5. I want to see 10,000 before the 20th. I think June 19th was the day. Was that the day that somebody in the chat in Discord said they wanted?
I don't know.
I would go with that.
Continue reading.
Yes, please.
I love him. I would love to marry him. He says all the time he knows he wants to spend the rest of his life with me.
Are we on a different email?
This is it.
A minute ago, she said he's not marriage material.
Right.
She just said she would marry him.
She said she would love to marry him.
But he's not marriage material.
Right. And he says all the time that that's what he wants.
My brain doesn't compute.
Right. I can't say the same because our reality now is not making me trust him enough to know that I want to marry him.
Okay.
I am biased because when I want to leave, I don't know if it's because I should or if it's because my first reflex is big fights. My first reflex in big fights is to leave because of my background. So there would be a single conversation. If you ever raised your voice at me, called me a degrading name, anything that was described in this email, there'd be a conversation of, "Babe, this is kind of unacceptable to me. I don't appreciate being spoken to this way. This is something that we need to work on, or there's not going to be much longevity in our relationship because that's just, we don't talk to each other that way."
Right.
There would be that one initial conversation. And then after that, it would be like a warning conversation of, we had this talk, you know, you've been doing good. I've been giving you acknowledgments. In this moment, I just reminded you and you totally blew over it. This is not okay for me. And then from there, there would be that final boundary of, you're telling me with your choices and your actions that this is not what you want and this is not okay for me. So I think you need to work on yourself. I'm going to work on myself. If our paths cross again, dope. Hopefully we'll both be up to par and then we can continue on with the dreams that we have. Of course, that is off the top of my head, probably shouldn't be worded that way. A variation.
Right. Well, I think a lot of it would also depend on the situation and the way
Yeah.
things were going. Did he? Oh, wait.
Okay.
That was not what I was looking for.
Am I going to continue reading?
Yes.
Okay. I agree. I would kind of be in that mindset too of if there's no changed action, my next reflex would be to, all right, should I just leave? I am biased because I want to leave, because of my background. Big fights are when we have a disagreement. He thinks my opinion is stupid, and then he becomes frustrated because he can't believe how I could have this opinion. Him calling me names, screaming, and telling me to shut up.
It's abuse.
That is straight abuse. That would happen one time and one time alone. I'm not stupid. You don't speak to me this way. You don't scream at me, and you don't tell me to shut up. There would be one conversation of this is unacceptable, never do this again. And the second time it happened, I would pack my things. I would say I'd be back tomorrow to get the rest of my stuff. And then after that, I need some space from you. And you need to figure yourself out because this is a very hard no. This is abuse.
Yep.
Then we don't talk. We can vent for minutes, hours, or days if that's what we need for me to vent and for him to come and talk and apologize to me. I don't talk to him until he apologizes. That's how we proceed because that's what works for us. Trying to problem solve before we are calm was eliminated from the possibilities. We talked about it and prefer to wait. Other fights are when we have a disagreement. We sometimes speak louder. We can talk, agree to disagree, or agree. We often thank each other for communicating at the end of it. Okay, so that, what I just read is how it's supposed to be. You have a disagreement. Sometimes volume can increase in that moment. You apologize. You lower your volume. You agree to disagree or you come to common ground. You appreciate the communication and having the insight. So where's the disconnect between that? I'm so confused. So the screaming and yelling happens prior, you have your cool down period, and then you have these problem solving moments? Is that what I'm understanding?
She said yes.
Okay. So
so we are now getting into the point where like this email is almost starting to cross the abuse boundaries.
Yeah.
So because I don't do well with the psychological shit.
Yeah.
Like you don't do well with the kid thing. I don't do well with psychological abuse. So like this scenario, when somebody starts getting aggressive when they're screaming,
Yeah.
and you allow it to happen, or you don't leave, and they know that you're not going to leave when it happens, you have allowed your boundary to get pushed back 2 inches. And the next time it happens, it escalates to that 2 inch mark. Maybe the time after that, it goes 2 inches further. Your boundary gets further back.
Right.
And before you know it, you're getting thrown into a wall or you're getting slapped around. Like I'm not going to ever tell somebody to stay in a situation where I believe abuse is happening, and you've already named it. It's happening.
So do you want to continue the email?
I don't want to hear any more about her fucking being told to shut up.
Okay.
Like and screamed at. That's
so
not.
She has a massive example of a big fight that they had.
Yeah, if there's abuse in there, I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to give somebody relationship advice on how to like work through their problems if they're being slapped around or you know what I mean? Like that's just not okay to me. You don't fix that. You fucking get away from it and stay safe.
Okay, so that's the end of the email because the rest of it is just her example of the argument. This is not an okay situation for me. I don't care if 80% of the time it's good. That 20% is absolutely terrifying to me if that is how he is speaking to you and thinks that that is okay.
Zach sent a thing. You want to read that real quick?
The next day he apologized. I told him that if it ever became that intense again, I would go because that's too much. I don't have a lot of examples because once he apologized, I forget it and move on. Thank you. I appreciate that you read my email and took your time to share your experience.
Yeah. Yeah, that's that. Every time that you forgive and move on or forget and move on, you're allowing your boundary to get set further back.
Yeah.
I have to read a super chat because it came through. It's over $50. Julia Rock sent $100 and said worth every penny to say love is not enough.
Love is not enough.
Yep.
You know, does he want to be a good man? Do I believe him when he says he wants to be a good man? Yes, I do. I believe that every man wants to be a good man. To be a good man, you have to be willing to admit that you are fucking up massively right now. That's not how you treat someone you claim you want to make your wife.
You can't be a good man and be emotionally frail.
Right,
I did this because you just pissed me off so much. No, that's bullshit. You did this because you're emotionally weak or because you're manipulating it and you're trying to make it sound like she did something to piss you off to excuse your bad behavior. That's abuse.
It is. I could never imagine you speaking to me that way.
I would never speak to you that way.
Right, I'd be so taken aback. I wouldn't. He needs to get into anger management. He needs to get into therapy. He needs to do something to get himself under control.
I have a book. Zach, if you're listening, I would like to add this to the list. And it is called, please don't start playing, just open. There we go. Nope, that's not it.
If you want to be with this man and he wants to be with you, I would move out. If you have the option to move out, I would definitely do that.
Yeah.
And you guys can redo the dating phase. He needs to show that he is going to conduct himself in a way that is becoming of a husband to be or a prospecting husband. And that could take years. You guys might have to wait for the disruptions to happen. Engage and see how that happens and get through like 3 or 4 of them until you even consider moving back in with him.
That book is called Why Does He Do That by Lundy Bancroft.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, screeners are going back and forth.
Are we doing another email?
No, we will not be doing another email tonight, but there's something going on that they're working on right now.
Gotcha.
And I'm looking for a place to send him that so that I can get it on the Amazon list.
I'm confused. Did you read that one that you said you had to disrupt the
I did read it. That was the Julie Rocks one.
There's so much happening. I don't think I processed what she said.
Worth every penny to say
That's right.
love is not enough.
Love is not enough, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, Julie. My mind's just racing. I forgot I dyed my hair purple and I was like, who the fuck is that? I'm kind of vibing with it.
I dig it.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was going to like it.
Are you serious?
Hmm?
Then why did you agree to it?
Because you said that you were killing your hair by bleaching it to make it pink. And I would rather you have purple hair than no hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still going to have to bleach my hair to do the purple.
Yeah, but not like to the extent, right?
It's the constant dyeing of the pink. Because I have to do it like every week to maintain the color of it.
If you guys are going to buy that book, hold off on buying that book until Zach puts it on our list. Oh, he just did it. Damn, he's on it.
He's so quick.
He's fucking on it. So they're working through that. Do we have super chats to read? Is there anything that we need to get into before where did I do Discord? There we go.
Wish I had a hair tie in here.
We got a $9.99 from Julie Rocks earlier that says, Chris asks Peaches all the time if she's seen a movie and she says no, and I chuckle. It's like life with me and my man. Is it the age gap or was she just not a movie watcher before? For me, it's a tad bit of both. What do you think it is? Do you think it's the age gap or do you think it's that you're just not super into movies?
I didn't watch a lot of movies growing up. You know, we didn't have a large DVD collection. So we watched what we had.
When I was a kid, when I was a teenager, before I was like, I don't know, 15 years old, we used to have one of the black cable boxes. Mm-hmm. They called them a black box.
Yeah.
And it would let you watch pay-per-view for free, HBO, all the movie channels. Like you got every single channel that the cable lineup had for free.
Yeah.
It was illegal as shit. But we had them most of my childhood. So like I spent a lot of time watching movies. And then obviously with my isolation, getting away from people, movies was an easy way for me to isolate.
Yeah.
But I really enjoy, like, I have movies that are like my go-to movies that I'll watch every time they're on. And a lot of the time it's just background noise. It's like you with the shows that you watch for your comfort or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If we got nothing else going on, I'd like to go eat.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see if we have any other super chats that we haven't read yet.
Okie dokie.
That's it. Okay, that's it.
All right.
You guys, we really, I know that this was a long one, another long one, because it's 10:30, so we've been on for 3.5 hours, and we went from over 500 people to balancing out about 300. We want to do these expedited reads every Sunday night, and as long as we have the emails to do them, great. When we no longer have expedited emails to read, we may sit down and actually read emails on Sundays that are just backlog shit.
Yeah.
Or we might take a break and just not do a live that night. It really depends on what we've got going on in our life. But we've said in the beginning of this that as long as you guys are supporting us and helping us grow the channel, we're going to continue to make content because you guys are finding value. So if you're finding value, share this shit with people. Get it to as many people as you think that will find value in what we're doing, because if they're sharing this shit, eventually everyone's going to know our faces.
Right.
And it's going to help the channel grow, and it's going to help us continue to do what we are doing, and we're going to thrive. So,
do you have the second part of your question?
oh, good call. I actually have two things because I thought of something earlier and I wrote it down. So for people who are in long-term relationships, you get very comfortable with being selfish, right? And like some mornings you wake up and you just know, like, today's going to be the day that they're going to fucking piss me off and I'm going to have to leave. Or you wake up in that mood, like, try me. Right? When was the last time you woke up and said, I'm going to go out of my way for them today. I'm going to love them more than I did yesterday because they deserve it. Because I know that my life is going to be better if I give just a little bit more effort than I gave yesterday. Right? I thought about that earlier because that's a very real thing.
Yeah.
That wasn't the question. But more people wake up going, I wish a motherfucker would, than what can I do to make my relationship better by just that one little extra thing.
What can I do to love them today?
Right. Thank you for working. Let me take the boots off. Let me serve the plate. Let me, kiss while they're cooking. Let's dance in the kitchen to our favorite slow song. Let's hold hands while we're driving. Something that you don't do every day just to show your person you love them. The difference in that is night and day.
Yeah.
The other part of so I'm going to read the first part of the question and then I'm going to hit the second part of the question. First part of the question was, when was the last time that you sacrificed for your partner? The second part of that question was with gratitude. Because it's one thing to make a sacrifice with a fucking attitude. It's another to make a sacrifice with gratitude.
Right.
I know that this is going to make your life better, and even though I don't really want to do it, I'm going to do it for you. I'm going to do it with a smile on my face because I know that you're going to be happier for it. Therefore, my life is going to improve. Selfless versus selfish.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it, guys.
All right.
We will see you guys on the next one.
Bye, guys.